High school football fans, Varsity Media is bringing exciting, exclusive content to you for the 2022 season. Introducing the Varsity Media Pass, available on iOS and Android. Accessible all season long, the Varsity Media Pass features game highlights, weekly podcasts,
a clash of styles, out into talking. We love those differing styles, right?
Top 10 plays of the week, player interviews, and so much more. Head to varsitymediapass.com to download the app and start enjoying content only Varsity Media can bring.
From Don Snyder Stadium here at Farmingdale High School, the Varsity Media Sports Network presents this Nassau Conference 1 clash of traditional powerhouses as the Red Devils come here from Freeport with a 1-3 record to take on the undefeated Dalers of Farmingdale, a game presented by Orland and Cohen. Dylan Butler here with Mike Hungerford. And Mike, even before we went on air, it's the colors, right? It's the red and white. It's the green and white. Like the head coaches, there's so much fun about a Freeport Farmingdale matchup. You kind of throw out the records a little bit. It's one of those games when you see it on your calendar at the start of the year, you circle it because you know it's going to be a lot of fun.
It's always a special game. Two traditional. Including Massapequa was the third, probably the traditional, and Oceanside has risen into that category now. But the traditional powers in the conference been dominating the conference for a long time. And if you want to win it, you want to win Conference 1 in Nassau County, you got to beat the Red Devils and the Dalers at some point, you know. And it's great here tonight, and it's just the old rivalry. Great coaches, great players on both sides, and great playmakers. It just has an old school feel to it, right?
There you see Russ Ellen's Red Devils on the far sideline. 1-3 on the year, Mike, but when you look at 3 losses, all by 7 points or less. We were on the air a couple weeks ago against Massapequa from Berner Middle School. That one came right down to the wire. You needed a sack at the end because DJ Gordon was trying to make something happen. So, again, you look beyond a little bit of that record. They are 1-3, but they've been in every football game to this point.
Yeah, I guess some people felt surprised that the game was so close at the end with Freeport and Massapequa. I was not one of those people because I've lived and had to coach against the Freeport guys many times in my football career, and I know better than to think that about them. And they're a team that gets better every game, every year by year, and they're getting better every week. And they have a 1-3 record. But throw that out tonight because they're going to play as hard as they can play tonight. Trust me, I guarantee you that.
Red Devils coming off a 14-8 loss to undefeated Hempstead. So it's Farmingdale, Hempstead, Massapequa, the 3 undefeated teams in Nassau Conference 1. In that game, Ja'Kai Stith had 144 yards rushing and a 61-yard touchdown. He also threw a 19-yard score to Jameer Andrews. Positives for Freeport. Nazir Jean Lubin, he had a 74-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. And you see right there, one of our impact players for a good reason. And Yvonne Neeson, that game, had 12 tackles. But what Jean Lubin has done in terms of returning kicks is second to none on Long Island. Look, 4 kickoff returns for touchdowns. He's thrown for a pair of touchdowns. And you see his offensive numbers as well. 21 receptions, 201 yards. For their quarterback, DJ Gordon, Nazir Jean Lubin is obviously target number 1.
Tremendous athlete, lightning quick. Great moves. Almost can't kick it to him. I mean, you have to try not to kick it to him. It's one of those things. Try to avoid it because he's going to bring it to the house almost every chance he gets.
So those are the Red Devils from Freeport. And now let's take a look at the Dalers. They are 4-0 on the season. They did not give up a point in their first 3 games. Wins over Valley Stream Central, Oceanside, and Hicksville. There you see the boys in green and white making their way to the field. A bit of a battle last week against Port Washington, a 56-21 win, a game in which Tomaso Ramos had 21 carries, 165 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Also had a 24-yard touchdown reception. Dylan Mehta had a 55-yard touchdown reception for the Dalers, as you see them lining up there. We'll take a look at their players to watch here, and Ramos on cue, right? What a season he has had. An all-county selection a year ago, 2-year starter, just shy of 400 yards on the season and 9 tackles. And defensively, Trevor Gayron brings it game in and game out. 34 tackles, a 3-year starter at linebacker, a 3-sport star here at Farmingdale High School.
Ramos, definitely one of the top, players to watch for the Thought Board this year. One of the top candidates. There's always some sleepers that come around, but coming into the season, one of the top candidates. He lived up to his billing. And Trevor Gayron, he general. He controls the defense, heart and soul of the team, and he's a do everything right guy.
Now we do have some late injury news. First for Freeport, and this one is going to probably affect them. This is pretty greatly. Jonathan Meza, their starting center, has been the leader of that line. He is out injured, and also Dylan Mehta is out, but that's more a precautionary thing for Farmingdale. If this is a playoff game, he would play. We'll take a quick break, and we'll have the opening kickoff when we return. You're watching this Nassau Conference 1 Showdown, presented by Orland & Cohn right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Teed off by shoulder pain? We've got specialists for that. Realizing you've pulled out more than weeds? We've got specialists for that. Doing the twist making you shout? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
High school football fans, for exclusive content of the 2022 season, head to the Varsity Media Pass app. Weekly podcasts, top 10 plays of the week, game highlights, and player interviews. All the content you need is right here on the Varsity Media Pass app. Available on iOS and Android. To order, visit varsitymediapass.com.
One more time.
Come on, one more.
One more. Riding stance.
Yeah!
2, 1.
One more, man.
Oh, man. All right, little bro.
Want more?
Welcome back to Don Snyder Stadium. The anthem has been played. And now the Dalers make their way onto the field. What an impressive looking band that is. Mike, we said it off air. They go 25 to 25. Length of the field as well, from sideline to sideline, and they sound great.
Very important part of the fabric of the community here in the school at Farmingdale High School. Being in the band is a very popular activity. Hundreds of kids in the band, and I think Farmingdale and Northport represent the cream of the crop of bands in Long Island. I've seen them both; they're both really good, and you'll see them again at halftime, right?
Yeah, we'll get a taste of the Farmingdale band as we get a taste of Chitty's cheesesteaks as well.
Here we go. Food review, baby. Here we go.
Well, let's take a look at the standings in Nassau Conference 1. We alluded to it before, 3 undefeated teams at the top. And this is where the part of the season where it starts to get important to watch those PowerPoints on the right, because it's the first week where we see them now added up and tabulated. You see it's Massapequa and Farmingdale. Interesting to note here, because Hempstead was a lower seed at the start of the year. They're undefeated. Look at Freeport. They're 1-3, but Freeport has played a tougher schedule to this point, so they've got just that little minuscule lead over Hempstead, even though Hempstead did beat Freeport last week. And there you see Port Washington, Baldwin, Syosset as well. It is a top-heavy Nassau Conference 1. Certainly Pequot and Farmingdale, those traditional teams, a little bit of a struggle for Freeport, but as we said, we expect them to be certainly very competitive as the season closes. But again, some new blood, some new old blood, if you will, with Hempstead doing what they're doing, and Baldwin maybe coming back up into it as well with the new head coach for the last couple of years.
A lot of people have asked me what I thought of the conference, and obviously I think Massapequa and Farmingdale, Massapequa defending champ, Farmingdale, lost in the semis to Massapequa last year, certainly 4-0. Two of the top teams, but a bunch of those guys in the next bunch down, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, are very dangerous.
Yeah.
If you don't come ready to play, you're going to have a tough time, and you might lose to one of them. And, when you don't come ready to play, when you're one of the top teams, guys tend to get banged up. It's just a matter of course. And I think, but if you come ready to play and the top teams are ready to go against them, they'll do pretty well and probably get through.
Let's take a look at the keys to this game for both teams here tonight. For Freeport, Russ Ellen says they've got to get yardage on first downs. Very important. They also need to limit Farmingdale's ability to get the big play and also get off to a good start. He said their kicking game isn't what it used to be or what he's used to it being. So field position could be important as this game goes on, but he needs to get his team off to a fast start. You can't start trying to come from behind against the Dalers. And you see for Farmingdale, be ready for Freeport's desperation. Again, they are 1-3 coming into this game. They don't want to go to 1-4. Try to eliminate as best you can the big play from the quarterback and wide receiver. Of course, again, that's DJ Gordon and Nazir Jean Lubin. And also be efficient on offense, which certainly the Dalers have been to this point through 4 weeks of the football season.
Absolutely. I think both teams these are pretty important keys, but they got to keep track of as the game goes on. Freeport has to sustain some drives. They're big play offense a little bit, but with the quarterback, with Gordon and Rubin, but they have to be able to sustain some drives. It keeps Farmingdale's offense off the field when they can. And I think both teams have talked about, both coaches have told their teams what it means to play tonight. It's the Farmingdale Freeport game. Throw the records out the window. As the saying goes, green and red only get together well on Christmas, and it's going to be a battle tonight. A lot of respect between the two teams. We'll get into that as the game goes on. And the coaches are a tremendous amount of respect between the coach and the programs. But both teams are going to play. This is an important game for both teams for sure.
We saw our referee, and when it's a big game, you expect the best to be out there. And Bob Miller is certainly that among officials on Long Island, Nassau County. You saw the green guys, the Dalers, deferred after winning the opening kickoff. So we're getting ready to go. You've got the Red Devils on the far sideline and their head coach. You see them there, Russ Sellen. Is he already working the officials there? Looks like a little bit.
See the Freeport coaches with Russ Sellen there. You have, we have Steve Probst, the graduate of Farmingdale High School, won the quarterback award, the Snyder Award in high school, and played at Hofstra and then at Rhode Island. Was a great player here. One of the, I guess maybe want to say Mount Rushmore of quarterbacks in my mind in school history. And of course on the staff, with a long member of the staff as well, as you know, is Jimmy Jones, who played at Freeport, was a tremendous player at Freeport and also a great player at Hofstra University. So a lot of football lineage on the staff, on the Freeport staff for sure.
Of course, we don't want to leave out Marcus McFarland as well. He's the other member of this coaching staff. When you mentioned the Dalers coaches, so many of them are Farmingdale alums as well.
Over the years, we had a lot of guys on the staff who were Farmingdale alums, and I think it's a special thing. Playing here is a special thing, and like it is at Freeport. And when you're coached by a lot of guys who are Farmingdale guys, they understand what that means, and a little different bond than some places have.
Dalers is number 23, Luca Cano.
So Luca Cotto getting set to kick off here, and again, you want to kick away if you can from number 11 for Freeport, because he has the ability, and he's shown it 4 times this year, to take it back to the house. Fielded at the 10-yard line. First play of the game, a run up the far sideline, decent return as well, so it'll be pretty good field position to start for the Red Devils, who are led onto the field by this man, DJ Gordon. His third year as a starting quarterback. Yes, he started in that COVID spring season as a freshman, and you see his numbers. Look, tremendous stuff, right? Passing-wise, 33 of 52 for 457 and 2 touchdowns. He's rushed for 279 and 3. Has 2 receptions, both of them touchdowns as well. An electric player is DJ Gordon.
He's one of the best playmakers in all of Long Island in my mind. At any given play, he could score from anywhere on the field.
So 1st and 10 from the 35-yard line. Gordon goes far sideline, and look at the speed of Jean Lubin getting out along the far sideline to move the chains. Let's take a look at the rest of the Freeport offense. Their starters are brought to you by Body Armor. You've got Martise Davenport, your running back. Wide receivers, Clement, Jean Lubin, Nice, and Jaden Gordon, the younger brother. You got Ramos, Penix, Cruz, Patience, and Green. The big change there, Cruz at center for the injured Meza. 2 for 2 for completions to Jean Lubin as he gets past the 50-yard line. Let's take a look at the Farmingdale starting defense, also presented by Body Armor. Fulwark, Canales, Robinson, and Cangelosi are your guys up front. Your linebackers, a really good group there. Gayron, Bleck, Pasilico, Ramos, and Gully are your corners. Collins and Meta was going to be your starting center. Obviously, a late game change there where he is out. Gordon is forced backwards. He got back, it looks like, to the original line of scrimmage, the Farmingdale 49.
Yeah, with Dylan Meadows sitting out tonight, a little bit of a late minute scratch, a little bit banged up, and going to hold him out tonight. In his place, we have Chris Burgess at number 9, who was a starter early in the year, coming back and playing again.
So this will be a 3rd down from the 49-yard line of the Dalers. You've got to get to the 45 for a 1st down. Gordon looks, flush out of the pocket. Oh, fantastic job on the tackle. You saw 8 in at first, but the first tackle was 50. Danny Canales.
He was hanging in the pocket trying to throw that ball down the field. Canales playing at DT. Getting a little upfield rush. He gets off that block. And I think they had a little bit of Trevor Gayron spying him a little bit, sitting in there, and Gayron brings some contact. Interesting decision here right away, Dylan, for Russell, and that's what he wants to do. He's over the 50-yard line. It's 4th down and about 3. Maybe you can try to draw him off a little bit with a little hard count.
Canales came into this game with 14 tackles. Here comes the rush. It's not going to happen. You get probably about a yard short there for DJ Gordon. So it'll be a turnover on downs, and the Dalers will take over on offense.
Dale is, not we've done a bunch of games this year, Dylan, but not the biggest guys we've seen play in terms of their front defensively, but they get off blocks, they rally to the football, and when the ball's on the ground and tackled, usually Trevor Gayron and Joe Bleck's on the bottom of the pile.
So now the Dalers offense will step on the field. They are led there by their senior quarterback, Anthony Leachy. There you see him. 1st year starting captain as well, also plays baseball, quick release, super accurate. See his numbers, 18 for 25, 390 yards and 2 touchdowns on the season for Leachy. 1st and 10 from the Farmingdale 47-yard line.
Good starting field position here for the Dale. Let's see what they come out with here.
We'll get you their starters after this play. Leachy in shotgun. Hands off. Nice move to the outside. Great cut inside as well. And a 1st down run by Tommaso Ramos. Let's take a look at those starting Dalers on offense. Their starters also presented by Body Armor. Joining Ramos, you've got Gayron, also a running back. Meta was to be a wide receiver. Baresi as well as Scardina. And up front, Fulwark, Robinson, Cangelosi, Sanders, and Canales. 1st and 10 for Farmingdale from the 41-yard line. Another handoff and another burst up the middle. A 1st down and more. Tommaso Ramos will not be denied. Touchdown, Dalers.
Tell you, Dylan, he's a bit of a human joystick. You know, I mean, he's, X circle button square. He's got all kinds of moves and all kinds of cuts, but the offensive line gets it blocked up front real well. Pulling a lineman right there.
Canales, 50 with a nice block.
Once in the open space,
Splits
he's dangerous.
defenders, yeah, and those are some great athletes for Freeport as well that you're splitting there as well. A 41-yard touchdown run for Tommaso Ramos, his 10th rushing score of the year. Varsity, the holder, the PAT is up, and it is good. So a great start for the Dalers. They jump ahead 7-0 here from Don Snyder Stadium. You're watching this Nassau Conference 1 Showdown presented by Orland & Cohn on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Teed off by shoulder pain? We've got specialists for that. Realizing you've pulled out more than weeds? We've got specialists for that. Doing the twist making you shout? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
We welcome you back to Don Snyder Stadium. Dylan Butler, Mike Hungerford here with you under the lights here in Farmingdale, and it is the host Dalers who have jumped off to a 7-0 lead off that 41-yard touchdown run by Tommaso Ramos.
Great start for the Dalers. I mean, you kick away from the guy, you give them decent field position, they get a first down, you get a stop on fourth down, and in 2 plays you score. I don't know if Coach Krumenacker could have drawn it up much better than that in a lot of ways. And Coach Sellen's guys, you just gotta keep playing. Because you're only a play. If you're Freeport, you're only a play away every time.
And that was part of our conversation with Russ Sellen as well leading into this game. He talked about trying to eliminate the big play, right? And it certainly hurt them as the kickoff is fielded at the 20-yard line in a short return of about 10. But we were both on the call for that Massapequa game, right? Of the 6 second-half touchdowns between the two teams, 5 were for 50 or more yards. Now, the positive for Freeporters, you've got a few of those, and we mentioned their playmakers, but too often this year, the Red Devils, for Sellen's liking, has given up those big plays.
Sure, you can see it again. 41-yard touchdown there by Ramos, after a previous play of about 14, 15 yards you get. So all of a sudden, boom, boom, they're in the end zone. And if you're Freeport, you got to slow the Farmingdale guys down. Got to make them drive the football on you a little bit.
So they start off at their own 31. Gordon back to pass over the middle, and that is incomplete. The intended target was his brother Jaden Gordon, but there is a flag on the play.
Good coverage here by Ramos. Two-way player. We talk about him as a Thorpe Award candidate, right? Two-way starter, playing corner and playing running back, and he's 2-year starter at both positions and excellent at both jobs.
Referee Bob Miller with the call.
He's asking Coach Krumenack what he wants to do here, move him back or take the play because it wasn't incomplete. Still going to be a first down.
An illegal shift was the call, so we'll back it up 5 yards to the 26-yard line.
And one of the strengths of the Farmingdale guys, Dylan, is they'll play a bunch of different guys in that defensive line. You can see right now, they started the game with Matt Cangelosi. Right now they brought in number 42, Caden Lennon, 6'4", 210-pound junior to play some end. And
it was Davenport in motion. It was a dump over the middle. It was a short completion for Freeport. Black with the tackle.
Joe Black really a little underassuming type of a player. Like people don't notice him too much, but when you watch him play, He's always around the football, always making tackles, second on the team to tackles, and is a real heady football player.
Javon Edwards was the one for Freeport with the reception.
It's like dealing, you got quads here to the bottom of the screen and empty to the quarterback. Might be quarterback run here.
You go to Nazir. Jean Lubin tries to get to the Dealers sideline, breaks the first tackle, dances along that sideline before being pushed out just shy of the 50-yard line. And that's what he can do with his speed.
Sure, give him a lot of cushion there. And just throw a quick hitch to him and let him run around. You see the Farmingdale guys coming to the trap, and he's able to elude the first tackler, and Collins just gets him out of bounds.
So he does get to the 50, moving the chains for Freeport. Big play by their big play guy.
Coach Selwyn's always going to give you something maybe you haven't seen it prepared for. They got the quad look here to the bottom of the screen, to the short side of the field, and he's got his good player, his good receiver.
Oh, Jean Lubin tried to leap over Ramos, and you love that mano-a-mano matchup, right? And nearly made the acrobatic catch.
See what he's got there, Dylan? He's trying to get the Farmingdale defense to adjust to the four-man surface over here on the short side of the field and try to get a one-on-one matchup. But the matchup is against Ramos, who's one of the better players, as we've already said, in the county at any position. So we'll see what they come back to here. And still an empty, though.
Yeah, 2-year starter for Ramos, 5 tackles on this season. Gordon fires one over the middle, looking this time for Davenport, and that is incomplete.
Trevor Gayron on the cover.
Interesting, a bit of a dilemma for how the Freeport guys want to attack the Farmingdale defense. If you throw the ball a bunch and you throw in completions, the clock's going to stop, right? You're going to lengthen the game. If you run it, the Farmingdale front's pretty tough up front. If you can't run it on them, you're not going to get yards. So it's an interesting challenge of what the Freeport guys want to do offensively.
3rd and 10 from the 50-yard line. Again, the most experienced offensive lineman for Freeport is Meza. He's out for the year injured. Here's DJ Gordon up the middle. A first down run for the junior QB.
Little sweep read there.
D'Angelo Gordon with the carry.
He can get north and south quick, just like Ramos does.
And Freeport's going to go quickly. They get to the 38-yard line on that first down run by DJ Gordon.
Staying in an empty set right now. You kind of have to defend. You have 3 to 1, 2 to the other. So you got to empty out a little bit. And you have the threat of Gordon running. So you have to be careful in the box if you're the Farmingdale guys on defense. There's his raw.
And there he goes. Gordon tries to cut it to the outside, and this time making sure that he wraps up. See the defense from Farmingdale make the tackle. Might have been Caden Lennon, 42 in there with Bleck as well.
If the ball's inside and you just yell out Trevor Gayron or Joe Bleck, you probably won't be too far going the inside there. But yep, see that's it right there. Farmingdale played we had about 4.5 men up front right there, and they held them to only 4. That's kind of a win right there for the Farmingdale guys. But I understand what Freeport's trying to do here, formationally against the Farmingdale defense.
Davenport motion, look out. Gordon is under duress, and he is thrown to the ground. A sack by Lennon.
Caden Lennon.
Number 42, Caden Lennon with the sack.
Just comes off the edge, coming from that stand-up position. Been out a couple games, a little bit nicked up, and he came back this week and unblocked.
That's a loss of.
And that was the important thing there too for Lennon, right? You got to wrap up and keep Gordon wrapped up. He's so elusive. A big loss here as it's now a 3rd and long from back to the 49-yard line of the Dalers. It's Davenport motioning out to the left. Pass goes to Jaden Gordon. Breaks the first tackle, but then the help comes. Good pursuit to the football by the Dalers, and you are right. Mr. Hungerford Bleck in on the tackle.
A little bit of what the Dale is lacking, a little bit of just pure numbers on the roster in terms of their body weights. They make up for it, tremendous speed and running to the football. And, they have that ability to gang tackle and get to the football. It's a hallmark of good defense.
I think that's a great linebacker name, right? Bleck. As a punt now, it's a low one look out. Nearly, that's one of those where you've got to call poison, right? You got to stay away from that football. Nearly hit the back of a Farmingdale leg there, but the Dalers will have the ball. Want to welcome in and thank for their partnership, the Yes app, where Varsity Media is excited to be teaming up with the Yes Network app to bring high school football games to more fans. Our broadcasts are now simulcast on the Yes Network app. And a lot of games as well. A couple games tonight. We've got a game tomorrow. We'll go through our broadcast schedule as we go along. But, look, you want to get great high school football to more and more people, and that's what the fine folks at the Yes Network app are allowing us to do.
Both these schools have big alumni networks and big fan bases. Hopefully people are tuning in from all different parts of the country on the Yes Network app to check out the game.
First down run. And this time, Ramos is wrapped up. Good job making sure he get to the football. Looked like 69 there, or is it 59? It's Mel Dominic. And it was Dominic, the senior, came into this game with 10 tackles.
Yeah, good. Got to win on the early downs. What Freeport's got to do to get Farmingdale off the field is win on early downs, right? Keep them out of those, 2nd and 3, 2nd and 2s. To give offensive coordinator Colin Jones, if you're 2nd and 2 and you're him, you're Colin Jones, calls the plays for Farmingdale, you got a lot of options, and if it's 2nd and 10, you have maybe a few less options.
And that was one of the keys that we mentioned from Russ Ellen coming into this one. Leachy back to pass. Look at that arm. He's got a man. It is complete. Joe Barisi to the outside. Touchdown, Dalers. Another big play for Farmingdale.
Joe Barisi, came back to football this year. Didn't play last year for the Dalers. Baseball, very talented baseball player. Came back to play this year, and he's got speed and he's got moves and an electric play right there.
How about the arm by Leachy, right? Like, we know about the athletes in the running game, and traditionally you don't ask your Farmingdale quarterback, right, in this system to throw the ball a lot. But they've got to be able to throw it. And Leachy, man, he can fling it.
Yeah, he's got an excellent another baseball player, Anthony Leachy, and that's his 8th touchdown pass of the year. He just has a way of throwing a ball that's easily caught, right, Dylan? Like there's guys who throw passes and there's guys who throw catches. And that's why I describe it. He throws catches. Balls guys can catch. Patrick Mahomes throws catches. One of those guys. And he's one of those players. He makes the ball easy to catch and puts it on target very accurately.
So Leachy to Barisi, a 72-yard touchdown, and the Dalers are out to a 14-0 lead. You're watching this Nassau Conference 1 showdown presented by Orland and Cohn on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
One more time.
One more?
One more. Running stance.
2, 1. One more, man?
Oh, man. All right, little bro.
Want more?
Welcome back to Don Snyder Stadium. Dylan Butler, Mike Hungerford here with you as it's the Dalers. 2 big plays to jump out to a 14-0 lead. Last time these two teams met, you go back a year ago. What a game this was, huh? In the Nassau Conference 1 quarterfinals, Jordan Smeichel got things going pretty quick with an 85-yard kickoff return. The opening kickoff return, Kyle Wilson had a great day as well. 11 for 16, 125, and 2 touchdowns. Sally Pasilico, 22 carries, 111 yards. Dante Lloyd had 2 rushing touchdowns for Freeport in that Dalers 21-20 win in the quarterfinals a year ago.
Dylan, they had actually played earlier in the year.
And look at this, a little pooch. It's got to be fielded by Gordon. And, oh, fantastic pursuit there by Joe Walsh.
Not of the Eagles. Joe Walsh of Farmingdale, there he is. But Dylan, the Farmingdale and Freeport played twice last year, once in the regular season, and the Farmingdale guys had their way a little bit much in the regular season game. And the Freeport guys showed their traditional improvement. Played the Dale was really tough in the quarterfinal round, and they played without Ramos that game. Pacifico stepped in, had a big game, but the Freeport guys showing that continuous Russ Selling improvement. How much better they get over the course of a year.
Would you say that Walsh there was living life in the fast lane, getting out to Gordon?
Oh, we got it all going on right now. Oh boy. The cliches are out early tonight at Don Snyder Stadium.
Gordon brings his guys back on the field. He's 5 of 7 so far for 40 yards. Also with 6 carries for 3 yards. Obviously, he got hit with that sack. Lubin's had a good start as well. 3 receptions for 35 yards, that long of 19 yards.
I like what Freeport's doing formationally here, trying to get Farmingdale aligned a certain way, take another shot maybe at Lubin up top. They're getting a little motion, bringing it back in the backfield. Sweep read.
That's Davenport, tries to cut inside, gets past the 15-yard line.
That's a good sweep read there, trying to get the ball moving a little bit on the ground. Good tackle there by Ricky Forwork in pursuit. One thing about the defensive linemen at Farmingdale, most of them aren't too big, but they're going to run around. They're going to chase the football. And
Caden Lennon on that tackle.
Caden Lennon with the tackle. Another run and another first down for Freeport as DJ Gordon moves the chains.
Joe Black. And James Collins.
Sweep read again. Pulls the ball and keeps it. And gets enough for the first down.
Bleck again with the tackle.
First down, Freeport.
1st and 10 from 23-yard line. Gordon goes long, far sideline. Jump ball, and that is caught.
Pass is caught.
It is Jaden Gordon with the reception. I got to tell you, he is 5'5", 150, man, and he's got ups.
A little stop and go pattern there right now. A little hitch and go, and puts the ball in the air. Ball's, a little, I wouldn't know if it's underthrown is the wrong term, but thrown a little bit short, and he was able to come back to it. Ramos was behind him a little bit, and right on top, right on him. But it was a well-thrown ball. Only the receiver could catch that, Dylan. Nice play.
What a football family the Gordons are, right? Remember their dad, Eddie Gordon, with the sack of Mike Prahalis. You go back to 2000. That was Freeport's first Long Island championship. And then now it's DJ and Jaden, a big part of the current Red Devils.
We talked about it, linebacker names, when we talked about Freeport linebackers. So we had Black, you said before, but Freeport linebackers such as guys like Gordon and Marlon Greenwood and players like that, major college talents at Freeport over the years.
2nd and about 5. Gordon slings it out to the right side. That'll be a first down. As you saw, trying to back up was Jaden Gordon. He's getting more involved so far. What you take away when you try to take away Jean Lubin, that's the other guy you've got to worry about now. And as Jaden Gordon has that ability to make the big plays.
I think the Freeport guys are realizing that it's a pretty high-scoring game, and they need to put some points on the board, and they're going to throw it around and get it in the quarterback's hands as much as possible to let him run around with it.
1st and 10 from the 41. There is Gordon. Gets to the second edge, or past that first block of defenders, and he's taken down at the 37-yard line.
Looks like Forwork in there again. One of the captains making the play from his D-tackle spot.
Yeah, strong, athletic lineman, fast for his size at 6'1", 190. Came into this game with 14 tackles on the season.
Him and the other one of the other co-captains, Matt Robinson, they look like physically like twins. They're super athletic, play with a high motor, a lot of energy, and that defensive and offensive lines.
Another manageable 2nd down. Gordon looks to pass, flings it, has a wide open Jean Lubin, and he makes the catch inside the 10-yard line.
Nazaire Gene Lubin with the catch. First down.
That time they looked like they moved Lubin to the slot, which got him a matchup against the safety Burgesson.
First and goal.
And probably the only thing that stopped him from going to the end zone is he had to turn around to make the catch, and he had his back to the end zone. But first and goal now for the Red Devils.
Good drive right here by Freeport right now.
And we've got a timeout for
Timeout.
Freeport. Maybe a missed
1:25
alignment
to go in the first quarter.
to this point.
Yeah, I like this drive by Freeport. Responding down 14 points, 2 scores. They came down, nickeled and dot. Short passing game a little bit with some completions, get a couple first downs. Gordon running it on the sweep read and the draw, and then hooking up a big pass play to Pierre Lubin and being able to Gene Lubin. I'm sorry, and being able to get themselves down the field. So pretty good stuff.
We mentioned before 1-3 on the year for Freeport. Here is their upcoming schedule. They will be home for Syosset in a week's time, and they're at Baldwin. That rivalry gets renewed. That should be a fun one out at Baldwin, and then home for Oceanside in week 8 for Freeport.
Dr. Thompson is
Sure, tough schedule for Freeport. The rest of the way as well. There's no gimmies on the schedule for them. It's a high-seeded team. They're gonna have to play every week, and that's why this game is kind of important to either try to get the upset or play really well and get some momentum going.
First and goal from the 5-yard line for Freeport. Gordon looks to bounce it to the outside, and he's forced out. Looked like the initial tackler was Ramos.
D'Angelo Gordon with the carry.
Using that back as the lead blocker right there. A little quarterback sweep action right there. Just bring him to the edge and see if you can get him blocked up and get an extra man.
And then Gayron came in to finish it off. Gayron came into this game with 34 tackles, a third-year starter at linebacker. Has also played a little bit of defensive end as well. There's that quad look you mentioned at the top. Oh, that pass was blocked. And the Dailers rushed the football in case it would have been a fumble, but it was an attempted pass. But that's that same thing we saw before. Quad look on the top of your screen. You're going to go the other way, and it was read really well by the Dailers defensively.
Sure, a couple plays in a row, they've come off that right defensive edge to Freeport's left, and they've come unblocked and had a sack and then had a deflection right there. So it's third and goal from the 3. Freeport definitely with 2 downs to work with here.
Yeah, this late in the first quarter, we've already got a pivotal point of this game, right? Because clearly Farmingdale has shown the ability to score on those big plays that Sellen was concerned about, but you've got to answer as well. You got to put points on the scoreboard, and that's where the Red Devils are right now with 1:13 left in this first quarter.
Definitely, if you're Ramos, you have to force the ball going to the pylon in the corner, take that slant window away.
And then you got the quad look on the bottom, although it's Davenport who motions out of that. Far side, another terrific block. And it was Ramos with the block. The intended target was Jean Lubin.
John Lubin right there tried to kind of sit it down and run him off a little bit and sit him down. And
watch at the top of your screen.
Wasn't really a fade, and it wasn't really an angle route right there. We just tried to hope you get Ramos backpedaling with a little slow double move right there, and Ramos didn't really bite on it. So here is 4th down.
All right, here we go. 4th and goal from the 3. Gordon, the pressure comes, kicks it to the outside. He's hit. Did he get in? He did. What an effort by DJ Gordon on 4th down, a 3-yard touchdown run.
See it again here, Dylan. Takes a look. Early pressure right there from Cangelosi. Looks like he was able to stick that ball right over the pylon for the touchdown.
A huge one, and as we saw against Massapequa, the extra point game could become a factor here today because Freeport will always go for 2, as they do here. As Gordon surveys the scene, goes to that corner of the end zone, another pass deflection by Tommaso Ramos to break it up. So 14-6 is your score. 1:03 left in this first quarter. You're watching this Nassau Conference 1 showdown presented by Orland and Cohn on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Teed off by shoulder pain? We've got specialists for that. Realizing you've pulled out more than weeds? We've got specialists for that. Doing the twist making you shout? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
We welcome you back to Don Snyder Stadium. Dylan Butler, Mike Hungerford here with you. Great start to this one. 20 points on the scoreboard, and it was DJ Gordon, a 3-yard touchdown run, which capped an 11-play, 89-yard drive that took 3 minutes and 35 seconds. For Gordon, he adds to his total on the season. His 4th rushing score on the year. Ball picked up at about the 20, and it's Ramos. He gets it to the outside, breaks a couple tackles, and that one looked dangerous there for a moment. He got himself outside the 40 before finally being pulled down.
Ramos kind of like Gene Lubin, right? You have to be careful kicking it to him. It could go be a touchdown at any given moment. Great field position for Farmingdale, but Dylan, going back to Freeport's drive, it was a great drive highlighted by a big play to thrown to your best receiver, and the quarterback making some nice plays, keeping drives alive, and just what the doctor ordered for Freeport, because all of a sudden you're down 14-0, you give the ball back to Farmingdale, they score 21-0, the game dramatically changes. Now at 14-6, you feel like you're in it, and it's going to go back and forth a little bit.
DJ Gordon right now 8 of 12 for 100 yards. Passing, also 26 yards rushing, including that 3-yard touchdown. So inside the final minute of this first quarter, Ramos is forced all the way back. A fantastic block, a cut inside as well, and Ramos somehow from like a loss of 8 or 9 gets himself a gain of about 5.
Number 8, Ivan with the tackle.
Great run there by Ramos, who's getting a little bit of a loss. I think he needs a breather right now. Getting a lot of reps on defense, too.
Ivan Neese with the tackle. We saw him a little bit banged up, it looked like, on that kickoff. Ramos now to the sideline, getting looked at by the trainer. A 6-yard gain, which brings the Dalers to the 48. They likely here will not have to run another play as the clock is winding down. And there's a look at Ramos on the sideline. Well, they will, it looks like, have to maybe have one more play. It's a handoff. Another run past the 50-yard line. And some extra physicality. Nice run to the outside. That was Sal Pasilico. A second year on varsity. Had 19 carries for 160 and 2 touchdowns coming in. 1 quarter in the books here at Don Snyder Stadium. It is the Dalers with a 14-6 lead over the Red Devils of Freeport. You're watching this Nassau Conference 1 showdown presented by Orland & Cohn right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports. High school football fans, Varsity Media is bringing exciting, exclusive content to you for the 2022 season. Introducing the Varsity Media Pass, available on iOS and Android. Accessible all season long, the Varsity Media Pass features game highlights, weekly podcasts,
A clash of styles, out into talking. We love those differing styles, right?
top 10 plays of the week, player interviews, and so much more. Head to varsitymediapass.com to download the app and start enjoying content only Varsity Media can bring.
Back here at Don Snyder Stadium, Russ Ellen looking to make sure his defense doesn't give up another big play. Leachy surveys the situation, gets himself out inside the 40-yard line. We mentioned before, there you see Coach Sellen and a matchup here of incredible head coaches, living legends between Sellen and Buddy Krummenacher. You see the years coached. Russ Sellen, 40 years overall. Started that coaching career at St. Dom's, 251 wins, 9 Nassau titles, 7 LICs. They both have 6 Rutgers Cups, which is interesting. And Buddy Krummenacher, 283 career wins between Hempstead and Farmingdale in an incredible coaching career. Little trickery here from the Dalers. It's Barisi to the outside. Barisi is finally pulled down at the 10-yard line.
Little reverse to Barisi right there. Nice play call. Just a little change up and getting the defense working one way, going the other way. Good blocking too. Really well blocked up front. You saw Cangelosi pulling around a little bit. And you have Gayron out in front. He just runs past people. Tremendous addition to the team this year. Barisi had not played last year, and getting Meta back as a transfer back from St. Anthony's, another tremendous pickup for the Dalers this year. Really have propelled them offensively to be a little more explosive with Ramos as well.
Yeah, Barisi, a Malloy baseball commit. He was all county in baseball a year ago. Cut inside to the end zone. Touchdown, Dalers. Sal Pasilico.
Great cut by Pasilico. You deal with Ramos and all the stuff he can do, the video game, the joystick, but don't sleep on Sal Pasilico. He's a great 1-2 punch, a junior. Sal Pasilico, he's 175 pounds. He is a football guy. He plays like he's 250. He plays like his hair's on fire on defense, and he can run the ball as well. Really well blocked up front, but if Ramos is a little bit banged up and maybe can't go a little bit, Pasilico was a tremendous backup.
And Buddy Krummenacher and the Dalers coaching staff loves that response, right? Because you just saw the Red Devils score, and now it's another attempt here as the PAT is up and good. Good look there at Sal Pasilico, who has extended the Dalers' lead to 21-6 early in the second quarter. You're watching this Nassau Conference 1 showdown presented by Orland & Cohn right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
One more time.
Come on, one more.
One more. Riding stance.
2, 1. One more, man.
Oh, man. All right, little bro.
Want more?
Welcome back to Don Snyder Stadium. The Dalers extending their lead to 21-6 here. Early portions of the second quarter. A Pasilico 10-yard touchdown run. It took the Dalers just 5 plays to go 58 yards in a shade under 2 minutes to respond to that 2-yard touchdown run by DJ Gordon.
Yeah, good response for the Dalers and Coach Krummenacher to come right back down the field and score in a short number of plays. They're very explosive offensively. Farmingdale, assortment of offensive weapons between Barisi and Ramos and Meta. No, he's not playing tonight, and then all of a sudden Meta doesn't play, and they throw a 10th grader in, Gavin Kachalian in. He can give you reps. TJ Mangio at receiver get you plenty of good reps. So very deep at the skill positions.
Number 11, Mazier Gene Lubin.
Looks like the Freeport guys are kind of adjusting their return here a little bit. Farmingdale has pooched the last one, trying to keep it away from Gene Lubin.
And Gene Lubin, as we mentioned at the start, 4 kickoff returns for touchdowns. He gets the ball at the 29. Look out, a huge block as well. And he'll get just shy of the 40-yard line. Busy weekend here for us on the Varsity Media Sports Network, as well as the Yes app. We've got the Backyard Brawl tomorrow at Plain Edge. Beth Page and Plain Edge, and a battle of 2 5-0 teams in the Catholic High School Football League as Holy Trinity takes on Kellenberg. A week from now, we'll be out at Cy Donnelly Field for the Friars of St. Anthony's against the Rams of Fordham Prep. We're also out at Cold Spring Harbor as the Seahawks take on East Rockaway. And finally on Saturday night at Mitchell Athletic Complex, it is Zavarian and St. Francis Prep. All games right here on the Varsity Media YouTube channel, as well as the Yes app. 1st and 10 for Freeport from their own 39-yard line. Gordon fakes the handoff. A burst pass to F in the midfield. Oh, what a cut by DJ Gordon. Gets to the outside. One man to beat. Gordon dives in the end zone. Touchdown, Freeport.
Gordon D'Angelo.
He is
That
special.
is a 61-yard touchdown.
Wow. Really great moves against a defense that had given up realistically 1 touchdown in 4 games, 1 defensive touchdown in 4 games. And, that's pretty special right there.
Mike, we've seen a lot of really special athletes in his position, right, over the years. Isaiah Barnes, we remember from a few years back as well. And Gordon's story is pretty remarkable. We mentioned, again, the lineage, right, the genes with his dad, Eddie, as that great linebacker of the early 2000s. But he's a guy who had to start, as he'll, again, go for 2 here. He had to start as a freshman, as we've got flags now on the play. And Russ Ellen was frank about it. He said if it was a regular year, if it wasn't a COVID spring, if he didn't have guys who had to transfer because they weren't sure if they'd play high school football on Long Island, then DJ Gordon would not have been in that position. Bob Miller with the call. It's a full start against the offense. But it gave him an opportunity just to mature, right? And you're thrown into the fire right away. We did their first game against Massapequa at Freeport, and it was a baptism by fire. There is no doubt about it. But if there is a player who can handle that kind of heat, that pressure, it is certainly DJ Gordon.
There's something about Dylan having to go in there and being a young guy and being unsuccessful, right? And having to get in there and battle your way, and it hardens you a little bit, toughens you a little bit, and makes you, appreciate being successful.
Gordon's 2-point attempt was deflected, and it is incomplete.
Dylan, just to go back to where we were, when you're unsuccessful as a young guy, you have to play, and it's on your shoulders, and you have to make decisions, and some of them are good, and a bunch of them aren't good, and you're struggling. It'll send you one of 2 ways, right? An athlete of Gordon's ability and moxie and everything that he has makes him tougher, and made him better now. You can see it now. He's a better player now for what he went through then, for sure.
We mentioned the history between these 2 teams, and it's been a great one, especially when it comes to the biggest of games, county finals. We take a look at some of them there. You go back to that 2000 season, right? Freeport with that 32-6 win. A year later, Farmingdale, they snapped the Red Devils' 20-game winning streak with that 13-6 win. That 2010 win for Freeport, a 3-point win, which came after in the regular season. The Dalers had an incredible 42-39 win in the regular season. Many thought that was one of the best regular season games that they've ever seen. The most recent matchup in the county championship, Mackay Jinx rushed for 169 yards and 3 touchdowns. Freeport won that one, which also then extended their winning streak to 23 consecutive games.
Dalers had a pretty good squad that year, led by Kevin Wilson, a great 2-way player. But the Red Devils were perhaps the best team in the state that year, and beat Farmingdale twice that season. So been a lot of games going back and forth, a lot of championship games, and a lot of big games won by both teams.
And we mentioned before, right, like a lot of those guys off of that 2019 team, they had to then go and kind of look for new homes, and they transferred out. Get to that in a moment as that kickoff is fielded at the 25-yard line, spinning and turning like a top. Looked like that was Basilico. But going back a moment again, right, so you have that team, arguably the best in the state, but then you lose guys like Javian Allen and Jinx as well, Asani Allen. These guys who are all playing college football. Javian Allen's at Tennessee Tech. Jinx is at Stony Brook. Asani Allen's at Colgate. They had to transfer out because they didn't know, right? It was an unknown for a very long time when football would be played again.
Sure, they were definitely football-first guys with the desire and the ability to play college football at a high level, and they felt like in New York State, everybody was unsure as to what was going to happen. So, I don't think Coach Selma begrudged their decision in that
Absolutely
way.
Not. He understood.
They went to different places, Georgia, and they were able to play and had great seasons and play in a great program, and really helped them, help their college choices and get to play college football.
All right, Daler is on the attack here with a 21-12 lead. Handoff comes this sideline, getting turned around the edge, an extra run as well, and a big carry there by a guy we've not seen a lot from.
Gavin Kachalian, it's a sophomore, kind of playing a little bit now with the absence of Meta, and he's one of the young guns. Great block there by Gayron.
26-yard gain.
And runs through a tackle right there, big gain. Assortment of weapons for the Farmingdale guys, but when you look at it, there's Trevor Gayron again, right? The heart and soul of the whole operation. Doesn't touch the ball a whole lot, but blocks, does whatever is needed to do in all different situations for the Dalers.
And looking at the field, we saw Ramos come out before, and you see there 6 is Basilico, so perhaps some extra carries there available, and that was one where you make the most out of it as only a sophomore. Flags on the play. Our referee, Bob Miller.
Early movement right there.
What a legendary career he's had, right, with the white hat.
First real mistake by the Dalers yet, right? We're almost 9:49 to go in the second quarter, and they finally have a play that wasn't pretty successful, really, The last drive we didn't mention that Leachy had looked. One of the plays he looked for somebody who wasn't open, and then he ran, made a smart decision, and ran and got 4 or 5. He's kind of like stirs the drink a little bit by making a lot of good choices, not making the bad choice.
Leachy, Basilico breaks the first tackle, cuts back inside, and he's finally taken down inside the 30. A late, that's not a fit. It was not a flag. It was a piece of clothing there for Freeport, but another great run by Basilico.
You can see Basilico's ability right there. Jump cuts. He gets north and south squares his pads really well. Runs in and out of tackles. Much stronger than 175 pounds. Very strong. And just, the Dalers are just getting on guys up front, too. Tremendous blocking up front from their offensive line.
Yeah, he had a huge game. We mentioned it before, right? In that last meeting in the quarterfinals, 22 carries for 111 yards in that 21-20 win for Farmingdale. Another first down for the Dalers.
Timeout, Farmingdale.
And we've got a timeout.
Dylan, everybody forgets, but in the game that Farmingdale beat Massapequa, and that end of the game play, at the very end of the game that won in the game, that was Basilico with the touchdown run right there for the win. Ramos had gotten hurt in the game and couldn't continue, and Basilico gets a game winner as a sophomore last year.
We'll take a look back at the Nassau Conference 1 standings. And you see those Chiefs up top. They've got a meeting with Farmingdale in a couple of weeks' time. That one will be out at Massapequa. It certainly will determine a lot as far as seedings in the postseason. But you see the Chiefs and Dalers both undefeated, as is Hempstead. What a great season Hempstead has had as well. It's been a very long time since Hempstead has been an undefeated team. But there they are, of course. We mentioned Buddy Krummenacher. That's a team, a program that he coached in his earlier days of coaching. Can't say his earliest days, right? Because back in 1970, he's coaching Nassau Community College, but
He went to Hempstead and had a tremendous run. Coach Krummenacker at Hempstead of championships, of winning, and it's done kind of repeated it at Farmingdale.
so off the timeout. And another flag, another false start against the offense.
Trying to put that guy in motion there has kind of got them a little bit fouled up right now.
That was Barisi 7 that they were trying to motion out at the top of your screen.
One of the good parts about motion there is trying to determine whether they're in man or zone, and also, get a guy when the guy comes in, player comes in motion, he's able to get a little momentum going and not get pressed at the line of scrimmage. So, it kind of gets him away from the defenders.
There's a good look at Buddy Krummenacker, class of 1965. Was the captain of that 1964 team. An incredible lineage, if you will, of coaching legends here. Of course, Don Snyder before him. Leachy comes back to pass. Fires to the far sideline. That one is complete. And a good job getting inside the 25-yard line.
Number 8, Trevor Gayron.
Reception was by Gayron.
Coach Farmingdale is one of those unique places, Dylan, they've had 2 football coaches since 1953. Very unique place, tremendous continuity. When the man who's coaching the team now played for the man who coached the team before, Coach Snyder. And, people in Farmingdale he was just known as Coach. Coach Snyder is just known as Coach. And I think Coach Kroom is just simply known as Coach Kroom, and everyone knows who he is in town. And two of the more recognizable coaches in Nassau County in any sport, between Coach Sellen and Coach Krummenacker.
Living legends indeed. Here is Barisi. Gets some good outfield blocking. Nearly lost the football. So a short gain as well. We mentioned it before. We'll take a quick look at the all-time winningest coaches in Nassau County, and 3 of those guys you mentioned here, 2 coaching here today, as well as Don Snyder. There you see the great Howie Votes. 56 years at Bethpage, 364 wins. There's Krummenacker. The late, great Tom Flatley right behind him in 30 seasons at Garden City. Russ Sellen. And there is Don Snyder, 5th on that list. 40 years coaching the Dalers, 237 wins for Snyder. Basilico pushes forward, gets that extra push inside the 20 to the 15, and he moves the chains.
Great inside blocking right there by the center. The Cangelosi and the 2 guards inside, between Robinson, pushing on his side, and Sanders on his side, just getting a solid push inside.
You've got experience in terms of your years, right? Senior, juniors, but a lot of first-year starters on that offensive line. They've gelled pretty well, pretty quickly as well. The Cangelosi, you mentioned, he's a first-year starter who came back to football after a couple of years off. You've got Fallwark. He's the 2-year starter at left tackle, and Robinson, a 2-year starter at left guard, but everybody else is a first-year starter. First down pass. Barisi to the outside.
Barisi with the reception.
Looks like it'll end up being a loss of a yard.
Really good tackle by the Freeport guys right there.
I think I saw 51 in there. Alec Bastian. He's a guy who's taking the place of a Cruz Meza, on the other side of the football. Again, Jonathan Meza. We saw him injured against the Massapequa game. We hoped it wasn't serious. Unfortunately, it was. He is lost for the season, and that was your lone experienced player on either side of the line for Freeport.
It's always unfortunate when you lose a player like that.
Great cut, a few broken tackles as well, and Basilico gets inside the 10, although he will be short of the first down marker.
Freeport, has an edge player right there. For Basilico, looks like. And he just runs through him right there. Great job by Basilico.
Followed Sanders. Basilico cuts inside, and he's in the end zone. for the score.
Number 6.
Number 6 with the 6-yard touchdown run.
Pretty good quarter for South Basilico, huh?
Yeah, not bad.
Wow. Great block there by Gayron, getting 2 guys. And Basilico does the rest. Some good blocking on the edges there as well. Another touchdown for the Farmingdale guys.
Yeah, it's next man up, right? Ramos again. We saw him banged up a little bit, and Basilico stepping in as that lead back. He's got 2 second-quarter touchdowns now, and the PAT is up. It is no good. So a point is left on the board, but about the only thing not going right for the Dalers at the moment. 27-12 is your lead. Farmingdale's in front, 5:07 left in the second quarter. You're watching this Nassau Conference 1 showdown presented by Orland and Cohen and the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Teed off by shoulder pain? We've got specialists for that. Realizing you've pulled out more than weeds? We've got specialists for that. Doing the twist making you shout? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
Dylan Butler, Mike Hungerford here with you from Don Snyder Stadium, where the Dalers lead the Red Devils 27-12. Sal Basilico, a pair of second quarter touchdown runs to lead the way for the Dalers. Between them, an incredible 61-yard touchdown run by DJ Gordon and Nazir Jean Lubin and Jaden Gordon. All those guys are reasons why, even at 27-12, Freeport's still in this game.
Oh, no lead is safe right now. You know, if you're Farmingdale, no lead is really safe. But I think if you're Freeport, just kind of keep doing what you're doing. It's working, you know. And if you're Farmingdale, you got to tackle a little bit better right there on the touchdown run.
And again, trying to avoid Jean Lubin. Looks like that's Davenport. A very long east-west run to get a couple yards to the 40. Let's take a look at the Dalers' upcoming schedule. A big one at homecoming in a week's time. Could be a battle of a pair of undefeated teams as Hempstead comes to town, and then maybe another battle of undefeated teams. Not getting too far ahead of ourselves, but the game that everybody looks forward to every year. It'll be Farmingdale at Massapequa, and then you end the regular season at Syosset on October 29th.
Sure, 3 big games left for the Dalers. You know, Syosset last week a very impressive win over Oceanside, and three tough ones to go, just like Freeport has. You know, time of the year, all the better teams are playing each other. The team with the better records and the better players are playing each other this time of the year, and there's no you can't take any weeks off. You got to play every week. Only an 8-game schedule. You don't want to drop a game.
Empty backfield for Gordon. He's got trips left, a pair of receivers to the bottom of your screen. He goes that way, looking for his brother Jaden Gordon.
Jaden Gordon with the reception.
So Freeport kind of started the game, Dylan, just, taking some short yardage plays, some 4-yard hitches, some, just taking what they can get. And these are kind of replacing running plays, right, as opposed to trying to run the ball at the Farmingdale defense. It's pretty stout up front. They're trying to just nickel and dime in the passing game. And then, maybe a missed tackle, all of a sudden a 5-yard play becomes a 40-yard play.
Second and 6. Gordon goes over the middle, and he finds Jaden Gordon again. A first down reception inside the Dalers 40.
You found him in the seam right there. A little bit of a switch route right there. And Black's trying to stay with him. Good matchup for the Freeport guys, an inside linebacker versus a slot receiver off the switch route.
I like what Sellen's doing here, too. At the bottom of your screen are 2 of your top playmakers, right? In John Lubin and Gordon. Low snap. DJ's got to try to get out of that. He doesn't know, and he is sacked. Danny Canales again brings it. A couple big plays in this first half here by the junior defensive tackle.
Good play by Canales right there, solid two-way lineman. He's looking downfield. To Gordon's credit, he's trying to hang in there and find an open man, and he tries to run late. And there's Gordon. If Gordon probably didn't get him, probably Robinson would have.
Loss of about 4. Great fake by Gordon.
Had us all faked for a second.
I saw it the whole way.
Off the sweep read. Good decision by Gordon to pull the ball, keep it.
And that's never easy, right? When you're like a Davenport number 5, you got to sell out, man, because they're coming. He got hit hard, but it was for a gain, so it brings up a 3rd and about 8. Another fake handoff, another big run by Gordon. Gets inside the 30. That should be still short of the first down marker.
D'Angelo going with the carry.
As it looks like there's an injured Red Devil.
That was some collision right there. I think Basilico was involved in that too. That was a big collision. Hopefully Gordon's all right. He's kind of laying there, and that's not a good sign.
We'll take a quick break here with 2:39 left in this second quarter. It is Farmingdale 27-12 over Freeport. You're watching this Nassau Conference 1 showdown presented by Orlin and Cone on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Teed off by shoulder pain? We've got specialists for that. Realizing you've pulled out more than weeds? We've got specialists for that. Doing the twist making you shout? We've got specialists for that. Orlin & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
High school football fans, for exclusive content of the 2022 season, head to the Varsity Media Pass app. Weekly podcast, top 10 plays of the week, game highlights, and player interviews. All the content you need is right here on the Varsity Media Pass app, available on iOS and Android. To order, visit varsitymediapass.com.
One more time.
Come on, one more.
One more. Right stance.
2, 1. One more, man.
Oh, man. All right, little bro.
Want more?
Varsity Media is the tri-state area sports leader. We offer an array of services for any team, coach, player, athletic director, and parent. From game film to live stream.
Welcome back to Don Snyder Stadium. Dylan Butler, Mike Hungerford here. It is 4th and 1 here, and it is Nazir Jean Lubin in at quarterback for DJ Gordon for this play. Fakes the handoff. Look at Jean Lubin. Gets a first down to the 20-yard line.
During the breakdown, we mentioned about who'll be playing quarterback for the Freeport Red Devils, right? And John Lubin played quarterback on the JV, we were told, right, when he was younger, and because Gordon was already up on the varsity. So, touchdown saving tackle right there by Collins.
Fresh set of downs now as Jean Lubin's still there. He's got Davenport to his left hip. He will hand off to him, and good pursuit to the football. You see a couple of Gailers Black in along with Basilico.
One thing you may lose with John Lubin, you get tremendous athleticism, but I wonder how much he's actually repped some of the plays. You're not really sure, and he'll be able to run certain things really well and maybe not others. He can throw the football, though, Dylan. We saw him a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Throw the football pretty well.
Well, he got a couple of touchdowns, both to DJ Gordon. And here he is again. Good spin on it, a diving attempt in the end zone. It was Jaden Gordon, and that one was incomplete. DJ Gordon on the game to this point, 10 of 14 for 121 yards, has also rushed the football 15 times for 96 yards and 2 scores. So we will continue to monitor him. Looked a little bit shaken up here as it's trips left for Jean Lubin, and you've got a pair of receivers at the bottom of your screen.
3x2 or an empty here, 3 to the boundary. Classic Freeport putting the extra player to the short side of the field, trying to open up the wide side of the field. Like maybe Lubin with a draw here, or run, him keeping the ball and running around with it.
He fumbles it, picks it up, and he gets back to that initial line of scrimmage. It was a fortuitous bounce for Jean Lubin, certainly right back into his hands. And Bleck was the first one there to gobble him up, which brings up a 4th down.
Which Jean Lubin, all of a sudden he's processing a lot of things in his mind right now, right? Sure. What do I do in the play? Who do I throw it to? Who do I hand it to? And all of a sudden I got to just catch the snap. It seems easy. Or people think, oh, just catch the snap. But when your mind's working and processing, nothing becomes easy, trust me. Like Coach Selwyn trying to, figure out what he wants here on 4th and 10. Kind of a big down right here, a minute 33 to go, Dylan. Farmingdale's showing the ability to drive the field, pretty quickly. So if
the Gailers will get it coming out too.
And they get it coming out, so this could be a big swing if they can't get a first down here. Or conversely, Coach Krumenacker and the defense, Coach Chantilly in the huddle down there are probably talking about, he's got to win one down here right now. Got to tackle. Got to win one down. You got to wrap up and you got to get him on the floor and not let him get the first down.
When you've got DJ Gordon and Jaden Gordon and Jean Lubin, that's a pretty formidable 3-headed monster of an attack. But then when you lose a DJ Gordon, right, you lose a little bit there of Jean Lubin's effectiveness as well.
Sure, absolutely. It's kind of like a two-man. It's a two-man sub.
Sure.
It's you're taking one guy away from the receiver, and he's got to play quarterback. And now, there are times sometimes when the best player is a quarterback because when the ball is snapped where he's going to be. He's going to be behind the center taking the snap, right? As opposed to be able to line him up in all different places and get him good matchups,
So here we go, 4th and 10. Jean Lubin in an empty backfield. Pressure comes from both edges. He ducks out of it. Fires it. Was that intercepted?
Interception.
And it was.
Giovanni Gully.
Gully, his first pick of the year. Another Dailers captain. Had a great junior year. 5 tackles on the season. Watch number 5. Good anticipation here from Gully.
Yep, just steps in between the two receivers, and the receivers kind of drifted a little bit, and they didn't really come back to the ball when he went to throw it.
The only complaint there is maybe knock it down, right?
Yeah, we lost a couple of yards on it, but you know what? High school kid trying to make a play, you make it a play. Maybe an 8th-year NFL vet, that may be something a little different. But high school football, sometimes, you're just excited and you're thinking about it and pick 6 and all those things,
Yeah, 100%. You're thinking top 10 plays, right, on the Varsity Media Pass as well, maybe. Just kidding. He wasn't thinking about that. So 125 left. The Dailers at their own 10. Leachy. Look out. He's got to get rid of it. And was he hit for the safety? I think it was just shy, or did he call it? It was. So that's a mistake there by Leachy, not getting rid of it. And it is a safety for the Red Devils.
I thought he was a little bit short of the goal line, to be honest with you.
Show it again.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought his momentum kind of stopped and he was dragged in. I guess it is a safety. I mean, you recall that. I don't think Coach Krumenack is questioning a little bit if his momentum carried him, but I don't think they're changing their mind right now.
Well, there you see the conversation among the officials. I think this is more just procedural, right? Kind of explaining on what happens here on a safety. It's not a play that you see, obviously, every game. We've seen it now a couple weeks in a row, right? We saw it at Northport, was it? Lindy a week ago?
It's interesting, though. Great play by Freeport. It's all of a sudden they're going to get 2 points and things are going to change, and but when you're a receiver or a runner and your momentum is stopped and then you're dragged backwards, they put the ball where the momentum was,
100%.
right? And in a play like this, no matter who you're rooting for, I'm just being, trying to look at it from a football standpoint. I thought his momentum was stopped, and then he was carried into the end zone. So, interesting decision by Coach Mills, Mr. Mills officiated a million games, and makes a lot of good calls. So I guess he was right there and saw it that way, and that's what we have.
Our scoreboard at the bottom of your screen there, that is operated by the scoreboard operator. So you see those timeouts at the bottom. It's actually 2 for the Dalers and 1 for Freeport. Shout out to our statistician extraordinaire, Joe Giannotti.
Looks like they're going to punt it here, Dylan. On a safety kick, you have the option of punting it or kicking it off. So they're going to use Matt Cangelosi, the punter. Very strong leg. He's going to punt it looks like, here.
And he's not had to do that today, right? Every one of their drives they've scored on. Cangelosi's punt fielded by Jean Lubin at the 39. Keep your eyes open for Najir Jean Lubin. Cuts inside to the 50, and he is finally wrapped up there. He is so exciting to watch.
Nazir Jean Lubin with the carry.
A few guys down the bottom of the pile.
So we look again now on this offense, and you don't see the number 3, do you? So Jean Lubin, he'll be back in there to be the QB, and again, we saw Gordon take that pretty vicious collision, was down for a few moments, was checked out, and he's not yet returned to the field for Freeport.
Interesting to see if and when he'll come back into the game. Hopefully he's okay. I mean, what we've seen in the NFL over weeks of late, the whole concussion thing has been very, front and center.
Sure.
In terms of football. So hopefully he is okay and is able to come back into the game. But if he didn't come back in the game, it might be understandable as to why he may not.
So great opportunity here for Freeport. You get the safety, and you've got half field here as well in the final minute and 5 seconds. Jean Lubin, quick release, goes far sideline, and that is caught by Clement. And he gets in or close to the 30, taken down at the 33-yard line.
Good job right there by Clement. High ball.
First down.
Senior, a couple of receptions on the year for the 2-year starter. Freeport will go quickly here inside the final minute. Low snap. Jean Lubin. He's taken down at the 25-yard line. Good-looking tackle there by Gayron. But this is the other part of here as, again, they'll quickly, clock is moving, so he'll just down the football. But what do you want to do when you're Russ Selling with Jean Lubin, right? You want to get him into space. Well, guess what? When you have an empty backfield, he automatically has that space, right, coming out of shotgun. So he's got 5-6 yards already to operate, and he obviously is an incredible playmaker. So obviously, you desperately your choice would be to have DJ Gordon clearly, but you don't lose a lot here with a Jean Lubin, especially playing to his strengths here.
Formationally, they've done some good things to get their athletes in space formationally. We've got stacks on this side. Got the defensively communicate who's got who.
3rd and about 2. Hand off to Martise Davenport. He'll move the chains and he'll stop the clock.
First down, Freeport.
At least momentarily.
Martise Davenport with the carry.
Now they'll wind it. And again, Jean Lubin just will down the football. Davenport hasn't been utilized as much here today, but the senior came into this game with 39 carries for 241 yards, 4 touchdowns, a 2-year starter at running back. And we've got another timeout. This one is taken by Buddy Krumanacher's Dalers.
I think they were trying to sub there, and they couldn't get another guy back on. They tried to sub a defensive lineman right there. Krumanacher's happy using that timeout right there, but giving them a little bit of an earful.
Yeah, programming note again, we'll have a halftime food review. Chitty's cheesesteaks here, a staple here in Farmingdale, as well as a few other locations on the island. And then we'll also take a look at the fantastic performance by the Farmingdale Marching Band as well.
Always fun to watch the Farmingdale Marching Band, one of the best around.
So that'll be after a quick break at halftime. And it will be the Dalers who will have the ball coming out as well. So this is an important one here for Buddy Krummenacher and his Dalers to get this stop, and then you get the ball coming out. They've scored, I believe, on every possession that they've had. We've certainly not seen them.
And the safety on the other one, so
correct.
Freeport's gotten one there back too. But a bit of a strange ending of the half for the Dalers right now. They kind of, you can say in many ways, they dominated the half in many ways, but it's at 27-14 and Freeport with the ball here, a little different feel. I think they need to get a good ending to the half here, Farmingdale, to say that they really had a pretty good half.
Second down from the 22. Jean Lubin quick out, trying to find Jaden Gordon, and that pass was incomplete.
I like that idea. Not a lot of time on the clock, 29.5 seconds. The clock is obviously accurate here as an official up in the press box with us running the clock. Just trying to get a short yardage play, pitch and catch, get him out of bounds or run up the field and get some yardage. Clock will stop on a first down. Freeport, I believe, with one timeout left, right? They were trying to save one if they can.
Yeah, third down here under 29 seconds to be exact. John Lubin goes the same way, and that's the same thing that happens there. Is it's an incomplete pass to Gordon.
Trying to get that out there, trying to get the safety having to come down and cover that out and get him open, and he hasn't been able to put it on target. He probably has to get that many reps throwing it in practice. He probably gets a lot of reps catching it, and running the plays. So fourth down here for Freeport.
So again, you can stop the clock moving the chains, and as you mentioned, the Red Devils do have a timeout left as well. John Lubin takes a look to the Freeport sideline. He's got Davenport to his right hip. He's back to pass over the middle. Low pass, and that will be incomplete. It was Gordon, again, the intended target. And good job defensively there by J.J. Collins.
I think right there they had that late blitzer late from the edge. It might have been Gayron coming in, and I think he got to influence that pass.
Collins on a senior late on a veteran team, that rare sophomore starter for the Dalers.
Really good athlete, and 10th grader. 10th graders have contributed this half so far. Gavin Caccielli and Collins, Angel Cartagena, some 10th graders, and giving some valuable minutes and reps here on a pretty senior laden team is right, Dylan. And he's got a bright future, Collins. He could be a really, really good player for a young guy. And looks like the Dalers going to take a knee and get the halftime here.
They will do just that. Leachy takes the knee as the clock winds down in listen, you can say it's certainly a dominant first half for the Dalers, but when I think Buddy Krummenacher and his guys get themselves situated in the locker room, they're going to say, listen, we did so many things right, but it's still a ball game, right? It's 27-14. Again, a Red Devils team that can score points in bunches. The injury to DJ Gordon, something to keep an eye out for as well in the second half. We'll take a quick break. Got a halftime food review. Chitty's Cheesesteaks. You are on the clock. You're watching this Nassau Conference 1 Showdown presented by Orland and Cone on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Teed off by shoulder pain? We've got specialists for that. Realizing you've pulled out more than weeds? We've got specialists for that. Doing the twist making you shout? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
High school football fans, for exclusive content of the 2022 season, head to the Varsity Media Pass app. Weekly podcasts, top 10 plays of the week, game highlights, and player interviews. All the content you need is right here on the Varsity Media Pass app. Available on iOS and Android. To order, visit varsitymediapass.com.
One more time.
Welcome back to Don Snyder Stadium. It is halftime here, and it's the Dalers with a 27-14 lead over Freeport. Dylan Butler, Mike Hungerford, we bring you inside our booth. And Mike, it is your favorite part of the game. It is our halftime food review. And we're going to take a couple bites and a review here of Chitty's Cheesesteaks. They've been serving Long Island since 2014. Farmingdale since 2018. You see their address, 191, right there in the heart of Main Street in Farmingdale. They've been recently voted best cheesesteak on Long Island. And they've got food trucks available for catering events. They got that good mood food from cheesesteaks and fries to empanadas, tacos, hot dogs, and more. They've got something for the whole family and customizable family meals as well. Dine-in, takeout, Uber Eats are all available at Chitty. So we've got a couple different options here, Mike. Why don't you walk the folks through here what we have?
We got a signature.
Show it to
Something
Angelo
you're gonna get the signature. So we're gonna open up for you.
There we go.
That's the base model, you would say.
This is steak, onions, mushrooms, peppers. Here we go. Open it up for you.
Yep.
Look at that.
Got it right there. Yep.
Beautiful, huh?
And they gave us the Chipotle chicken, which is the crispy chicken, Chipotle sauce, lettuce, tomato, onions, and bacon. I know the principal at Farmingdale High School, Jed Herman, first-year principal, but it's his principal for a while. This is his favorite. So when we order Chitties at school, sometimes this is his one.
All right.
And they gave us a little bit of a specialty one. I've heard a lot of good things, but I've never had, called the Mac Chitty.
Whoa.
Which is
Look at that.
macaroni and cheese and cheesesteak.
All right.
Maybe don't want to do this too often, maybe, but it's really, really good. Though I will say, I'm gonna try it right now.
All right, I'm gonna go with the original here.
Here we go.
All right, ready?
Here we go. What do you think?
Incredible.
Really good, right?
It is delicious. Listen, this brings you back. This is like the best part of this, Mike, I think, is this is like Broad Street. This is Philly, but you don't even have to make the commute, man.
No.
You come right here to the heart of Farmingdale.
Right on Main Street. There's one on West Islip. There's one in Comac. There's a food truck in Bayshore. You get it all, and this stuff's really, really good. And we always ask the question, Dylan, what do we ask?
Well, I know the answer to it, but we ask the question is, does it pass the test? Mike, tell the folks at home, does it pass the test?
Tell you right now, Chitty's Cheesesteaks. It passes the test. There you go, right there. That's a success right there. Thank you very much, Chitty's Cheesesteaks.
Yeah, awesome stuff. Chitty's, we appreciate it. We will take a look outside now. Another one more look here. Listen, they are the best cheesesteak on Long Island for a reason. This is legit. Right there in the heart of Farmingdale, 191 Main Street. There in Farmingdale, Chitty's Cheesesteak, the best around.
Empanadas right there in the corner there.
I see that. I see that.
Cheese fries. The steak and eggs is really good too.
Mike Hungerford, a regular at Chitty's. We're going to send it down to the field for a special performance by the Farmingdale Band as we get to chow down on some Chitty's here at halftime.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Farmingdale Public Schools are proud to present the Farmingdale High School Marching Band performing their 2022 show entitled Don't Stop Us Now. The band is led by band director Gina Pelletieri, along with assistant band directors Matthew Damasi and David Abrams. The Jailerettes are coached by Jessica Baker and assistant Lauren Scotty. The Jailer Guard is instructed by Miss Jennifer Tower. The Gun Rangers are Brian Stabilli, Andrew Alderi, Alex Almeida, Ariana Diaz, James Hamilton, and Nick Spataro. The Jaileret captains are Casey Renison, Callie O'Brien, Galen DeBlasi, Cameron The marching band staff would like to thank all 285 members of the marching band for an incredibly successful band camp at Pine Forest, our home away from home. All of your hard work and perseverance through the blackouts, the cold temperatures, prove that you can't stop us now. Tonight we are proud and excited for the debut of the new addition to our marching band and Daler family. Please give a big round of applause for the Daler Guard. Under the direction of Miss Jennifer Powell. We are very fortunate to have you as part of our team. And now, please enjoy the premiere performance of the 2022 Go Don't Stop Us Now. Let's hear it for Drum Major Ariana Diaz. She will be conducting pieces We Are Who We Are, featuring the Dalerettes. now, drum major Alex Almeida will conduct Little Nas X, Industry Baby, featuring the dance team. And now, give it up for drum major Andrew Algieri. He will be conducting LAMFO's Party Rock Anthem, featuring the Delaret Kick Team.
watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Teed off by shoulder pain? We've got specialists for that. Realizing you've pulled out more than weeds? We've got specialists for that. Doing the twist making you shout? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
High school football fans, for exclusive content of the 2022 season, head to the Varsity Media Pass app. Weekly podcasts, top 10 plays of the week, game highlights, and player interviews. All the content you need is right here on the Varsity Media Pass app. Available on iOS and Android. To order, visit varsitymediapass.com.
One more time.
Come on, one more.
One more. Right stance.
2, 1. One more, man.
Oh, man. All right, little bro.
Want more?
Varsity Media is the tri-state area sports leader. We offer an array of services for any team, coach, player, athletic director, and parent. From game film to live streaming, we are available to cover your event anytime, any place. Looking for an enhanced experience? How about a professional broadcast with multiple camera angles, announcers, graphics, and instant replay? Need a highlight reel? We produce individual highlights for college recruiting and team highlight videos for end-of-season banquets. And when it comes to social media, nobody has you covered better than us. Hype videos, sideline highlights. We can tailor custom videos to make your team stand out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Why waste your time dealing with anyone else? When it comes to sports video, Varsity Media stands alone. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or online at varsitymedia.net.
Teed off by shoulder pain? We've got specialists for that. Realizing you've pulled out more than weeds? We've got specialists for that. Doing the twist making you shout? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
One more time.
Come on, one more.
One more. Right stance.
2, 1. One more, man.
Oh, man. All right, little bro.
Want more?
Varsity Media covers every sport at every level from every angle. Game film, recruiting videos, highlight videos, SPORTSCASTs.
That's complete. First down and more. Touchdown, Oceanside.
Photography, live streaming. You name it, we offer it. Don't leave your video needs to amateurs. Trust the pros. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net. If you're an event...
We welcome you back to Don Snyder Stadium here at Farmingdale, where the Dalers have a 27-14 lead over Freeport. Dylan Butler, Mike Hungerford here with you, and we'll take a look at some first half stats for you. The great Joe Giannotti providing the statistics and a lot of offensive numbers here for Freeport, right? 12 first downs to 9 for Farmingdale. They've Farmingdale the edge in rushing yards, more passing yards for Freeport. A slight edge in total yards for Freeport, but third down conversion, see it there. They've had 8 opportunities, only 2 of 8. So the Dalers defense has stepped up, and Farmingdale conversely 2 for 2 on their third down conversions.
Sure, I think, for Farmingdale want to be efficient offensively. They've been pretty efficient up until the very end before halftime when they had the safety. They were pretty efficient. But the Freeport guys are doing a good job of keeping the Farmingdale offense off the field a little bit, taking what the offense gives them, doing the best they can, trying to, they really can't establish a running game, but they're able to use the short passing game and replace the running game in the first half. Nickeling here and there, 5 yards, 4 yards, 3 yards, 5 yards, and then mixing in some run plays with the quarterback.
One of the bigger storylines to keep an eye out for here in the second half is the health of DJ Gordon. A little pooch, and that one will go out of bounds. It'll be a penalty, but the Freeport quarterback took a big shot, had to be helped off. The field was looked at, missed probably, the last 4 or 5 minutes of the first half. We'll see if he emerges. One thing, too, is normally he's out there and on the defensive side as well as an outside linebacker. Don't see him there right now for the Red Devils.
I think if you're going to be able to put him back in the game, he's able to play. You're going to have to play him on the offensive side of the ball, save him a little bit defensively. And right now, Farmingdale, you have Tommaso Ramos not in the game. Looks like he's got a little injury going on. So,
and there you see number 3. Good look by our camera crew. He's got the football in his hand, so
he's coming back in the game.
I was going to say, if that's any indication, we'll see more of DJ Gordon, which is certainly a positive sign. We've seen a lot of Anthony Lici and a lot of this guy as well. Sal Pasilico, another first down run.
Farmingdale guys very good up front. They get on people. They stay on. And when Pasilico, with the kind of cuts he has, you can see right here, makes the first man miss, gets into open space, makes another man miss.
Pasilico in that first half, 6 carries for 58 yards, a pair of second quarter touchdowns, and Lici there, he's not used a lot, but he's 3 of 3 for 86 yards and a touchdown. Ooh, a little botch there on the handoff. Good read defensively by Freeport, and they get the TFL.
Good job up front by the Freeport guys, winning the line of scrimmage right there. Getting up the field and creating a loss, and that gets Farmingdale behind the sticks a little bit.
Rashad Chatter, number 53, with the tackle for a loss.
Let's see what Farmingdale has now, is second and long here. Definitely not in fourth down territory as of yet.
We see on the Farmingdale sideline, Ramos helmet off. So I would venture to guess not likely to see him again. Barisi motions at the bottom of your screen. That same play, Mike, is haunted Farmingdale with Barisi in motion. And
I think we have Freeport moving that time, though, Dylan, even though it's been the Farmingdale guy a few times.
There
you can see Ramos right there with Dylan Meta.
A good call by you. This is against the defense. It's a nice luxury.
Second and 10.
Sorry, Mike. It's a good luxury to have when you've got number 1 and number 4 not in the game, and you're able to still move the football the way that you are, make stops the way that you can.
2 very good high school football players right there. Banged up with injuries tonight, and I think if the Farmingdale guys, if you don't need Ramos, if you can get away without using him, you rest him if you can at this point.
Barisi again motions at the bottom of your screen. It's a pitch right. Here comes Pasilico. He is such a hard runner. And you see the tackle there by Yvonne Neese.
4-yard gain there by Pasilico, a little over 3.5, almost 4-yard gain.
Neese, a great start to his season. 29 tackles, 1.5 for losses on the year for the 6'1", 185-pound senior linebacker, who's now playing an even more important role with the DJ Gordon because of that knock, if you will, kind of only playing that one side of the football now. Third down for the Dalers. We mentioned in the first half, 2 of 2 in third down conversions. And flags fly again.
Farmingdale a little sloppy right here on that play. They with a little movement. We had Mangio in motion, and I think they moved a little early. Can we give that yardage right back?
And you wonder if this is the point, right? Like, they moved the football. We mentioned those guys not being in, but maybe this is what you lose with those guys not being in, right? That crispness in how you operate your plays.
Sure, definitely. I may have to make some decisions as to what you're going to call, and can you call everything you've been calling, and you have to change what you've been calling, or can you limit the playbook a little bit to some certain plays?
So this will back the Dalers to a 3rd and 12 from the Freeport 45-yard line. Varsity will again motion. Leachy, good protection. Tucks the football down, cuts inside the 40, and he's out of bounds, just shy, it looks like, of the 30, but that's enough to move the chains.
That's the beauty of Anthony Leachy right there. He's a good decision maker. They run a pattern here. They don't have anybody open. It looks like a little confusion with the routes, but he pulls it down. Got a little block right there, but it looks like that might have been Scardina. They get a first down.
And Pasilico, a good block in the backfield. Here's Pasilico. Cuts inside. Gets a couple on that first down run.
Looks like the Freeport front is stiffened a little bit. They're getting off blocks a little bit and playing front a little bit hard. They're also committing a little bit another player to the line of scrimmage for them. They'll try to go with a little tempo right here doing.
Leachy hands off. It looks like another run for Pasilico. He's downed at the 25-yard line.
All the guys change up on with a little tempo right there. Just trying to get the Freeport guys in their heels a little bit.
A little bit of a ploy that we've seen Freeport do, right, on multiple occasions against Massapequa. We saw them try that in the first half as well.
Coach Sellon, one of his big things up his sleeve he pulls is when you get a good play, and all of a sudden they get a nice big gain, they get right over the ball and use tempo and try to go quick again, especially trying to run the ball into the boundary sometimes against better numbers. He's an excellent coach at doing those things, those X and O's pieces to make you successful.
Leachy rolls to his left. Keeps running, and he gets out of bounds. And again, that's that football IQ that you mentioned, right? He saw the sticks, knew where he had to go, wasn't trying to get too much or do more than he could, and he just moves the chains there.
A little DJ Gordon, you can run, so can I, a little bit of a deal, Maybe not as fleet of foot as Gordon is, but he's certainly a good decision maker, and
he's efficient.
Covering those routes, very efficient, yes.
So fresh set of downs for the Dalers as they are inside the Freeport 20. Pasilico, hard tackle there by Jaden Gordon.
Sal Pasilico with the carry.
Pasilico runs hard. He gets that little bounce outside and good tackle. I mean, looks like he wasn't not a horse collar situation, but it looked like it from the distance. But referees are right there and didn't think it was. He's tough, Pasilico. He pressed that line of scrimmage. He's got that quick jump cut and go. Squares his pads to the line of scrimmage. And the Freeport defense, they went from giving up big plays now. The Farmingdale guys are having to drive the ball on him here a little bit and work on the clock.
Another man in motion. Trying to cut to the outside, forced out of bounds.
Great block by Trevor Gayron. He's the do-it-all guy for the Dalers. Playing defense, playing linebacker, getting the guys where they got to get to. He does all those things.
Varsity looks to be a little bit banged up on that one. I think he took a shot to the hip, but he did get his Dalers a 1st and goal. Like a PAT practice on the far sideline, ended up in the end zone. So we got to stop.
She's got a little bit of that Jim Brown look. You get up really slow after plays, right, and meander around a little bit, and all of a sudden the ball gets snapped and he'd kill you. So I think he's okay.
First and goal for the Dalers. 6:49 left in this third quarter.
Farmingdale working on using half a quarter right here.
Yeah. Leachy, quick pass. Pasilico tries to bounce it to the outside. Turns the corner. Touchdown, Dalers. His third of the game for Sal Pasilico.
Good blocking on the perimeter right there. Pasilico does the rest. Manjo with a good touch. Mr. Inside, Mr. Outside. Catches the little swing right there. Manjo gets just enough. He makes the other guys miss. Touchdown.
We mentioned last year's game, Pasilico was the man, right? 22 carries, 111 yards. And to this point, has earned himself that drink of water with his third touchdown of the game. PAT, that is blocked. So another point left on the board, but the Dalers have extended their lead. You're watching this Nassau Conference 1 showdown presented by Orland & Cohn on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Teed off by shoulder pain? We've got specialists for that. Realizing you've pulled out more than weeds? We've got specialists for that. Doing the twist, making you shout? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
Welcome back to Don Snyder Stadium. Dylan Butler, Mike Hungerford here with you. The Dalers with a 33-14 lead midway through the third quarter. I want to let you guys know Varsity Media Pass is your one-stop home for everything that is not game day, right? We've got your top 10 plays, highlights, podcast, interviews, so much more. It's available on iOS and Android. Varsity Media Pass. And I suspect Mike Hungerford, maybe a player or two from this game, making the top 10 this week. Still early in week 5, obviously Friday night. We've got a full slate on Saturday, a Catholic football game on Sunday as well, but we've had some terrific plays in this one, and we're not anywhere close to being done. How about Jaden Gordon getting to the outside, past the 40-yard line, and now you will eyeball the sideline, looking for the quarterback to come out. We expect it to be number 3 of Freeport, and would be DJ Gordon.
Booker makes that tackle on. Great starting field position for Freeport. Booker makes that tackle on kickoff. Joe Black. He got to have 10 tackles.
And there he is. DJ Gordon. Good to see him back on the field.
Yeah, I'm awesome to be back in the game.
Obviously, this now allows Jean Lubin to go back to his natural position at the slot near the top of your screen. Gordon with an empty backfield. Takes it himself. Pushes forward. And he will get out to about the 48.
D'Angelo Gordon with the carry. Ricky Fulwark in on the tackle.
Fulwark with the tackle, but a terrific first half for Gordon. He was 10 of 14 for 121 yards passing. He also had 15 carries for 96 yards and 2 touchdowns. Another completed pass. Little juke, which put the defender down, and a nice job of the yak by Javon Edwards. So Edwards moves the chains for Freeport, and as we've seen, they look to move it a little bit quickly now.
Going quick here out of the empty set. Freeport guys, they have some shifty guys. They make guys miss. Tough in the open space. If you put 2 feet in the ground, you're going to have a problem.
Davenport was in motion, faked handoff. There goes Gordon. Powers his way forward. He's taken down at about the 32-yard line, and DJ Gordon not showing any ill effects from that first half injury.
He seems to be okay.
James Collins in on the tackle.
Right now, they don't really have an answer right now, trying to figure out a way to, Freeport going quick again.
Second and 1 from the 33-yard line. And it's funny, every time they seem like they're going quick, they do kind of stop, right, and take a look at the sideline.
Sure, they're going to look at the defense, see what the defense coverage is in, get the right play.
Gordon, quick out. Edwards, a completed pass inside the 30, and they'll move the chains again.
First down, Javon Edwards.
That's okay. If you're the Farmingdale defense, you give up those little plays right there. You just can't give up a big one right now and get them back in the game really fast.
And you'll take those dinks and dunks. And
so will Freeport, too, because that's as good as a running play for them right now. They haven't been able to win the line of scrimmage against the Farmingdale front, so they're just not bothering with it.
Gordon, look out. And he gets it away. Now, will that be an incomplete pass? It appears that's the call. It looked like he was wrapped up pretty well. Let's watch it again, Mike.
Canales hit on that tackle.
Canales again.
It's a screen, it looks like. They're trying to set up a screen, and Canales breaks it off. He's had a few plays in each half. I think they're thinking about what they're doing here. They're just going to call it incomplete.
Which is a great heads-up play by Gordon, right?
He just did enough to make it look like it was heading towards the receiver. Otherwise, maybe you have grounding, but he saves a lot of yardage in a down right there. Canales having none of that screen.
He's had a great game to this point. Gordon again, flushed out, and he's taken down at the 30. Matt Robinson, 2-year starter, high motor, as tough as they come. Number 54 with a big tackle for the Dalers.
Robinson gets through along with Cangelosi, and they just pin their ears back and come, and they get home, And the D-line, what they make up in just sheer body weight and size, they have tremendous athleticism, high motor, and they're tough to block. Kind of been the key to things is their defensive line, the number of different guys they play, and how hard they play.
Third and long. Davenport, we've not seen a lot of him, but he gets himself to the 20. It'll be short of the first down, but certainly considering the location and the fact there is no actual field goal kicker for Freeport, they will go here on 4th and about 3 yards.
Field goal kicker or not, you're down 19, you're going to have to score touchdowns,
Sure.
and you haven't really exhibited the ability to stop Farmingdale long term, so, you're going to have to go for it here.
Davenport motions to the left of Gordon. Takes the handoff, pushes himself forward, and he gets the first down. Tough running by Martise Davenport.
First down, Freeport.
Canales again. Just enough push up front from the Freeport line. He rammed it in there nicely. Keep the drive alive.
And again, it bears repeating. Jonathan Meza, the only 2-year all-conference player. He was moved from tackle to center. He's out for the year. Nice completion to the far sideline as it's Gordon to Gordon as he's taken down at the 10-yard line. Or just outside the 10.
Tackle by number 24, Sal Patet.
Good completion right there. Gives him a second and 3.5. And those are good, play calling downs right now. If you had a Freeport offense and Coach Sellen.
Here comes Gordon. Cuts inside. There's a host of Dalers to push him back.
And bring that back. They motion that player into the backfield and use him as a lead blocker and just run a quarterback run play right there. What makes it so tough for the defense is that is you have to account for every player, right? If the quarterback's on hand the ball off, then you have to account for him. You have to account for him in the scheme. You need a hat on a hat. And he runs the ball like that.
3rd and 2. Gordon goes right, cuts inside. Gordon is in for the touchdown. DJ Gordon. Another rushing touchdown for the Red Devils.
Quarterback sweep there into the boundary. Nice play. Good execution by the Red Devils, and Gordon does the rest. He's one of those guys, very hard to bring down, hard to get on the floor, hard to bring down. And forward lean. Really a tremendous running back playing quarterback, you know, Dylan, and that I mean that in all terms of respect for him. He's a great runner.
Well, I mean, listen, that's the thing about Freeport quarterbacks, right? You hear Russ Allen say it. He's like, my quarterbacks, he said, I don't know how to coach a guy in the spread, right? Like, these guys have to run the football. And how about that tough run for the 2-point conversion as well?
Correction. 2 points.
So the Red Devils sticking in this game. They trail it 33-22. You're watching this Nassau Conference 1 showdown presented by Orland & Cohn on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
One more time.
Come on, one more. One more?
One more. Riding stance.
2, 1. One more, man?
Oh, man. All right, little bro.
Want more?
Welcome back to Don Snyder Stadium. Dylan Butler, Mike Hungerford, and the entire crew here at Varsity Media. It is the third quarter. The Red Devils trying to stay in this one. They now trail 33-22 after that 8-yard touchdown run by DJ Gordon, which capped an 11-play, 57-yard drive, which took 3 minutes and 57 seconds.
They're not going to go away, Freeport. They're going to keep playing. We said they're a desperate team, 1-3 coming in here. Nobody wants to be 1-4 in an 8-game season, and they're going to keep playing. And they've got seem to get better and better. And when you have DJ Gordon, you're never really out of it. He's just exhibited the ability just to do everything tonight.
I would add to that when you have Russ Allen as well on the sideline, you're never out of it. Ball fielded at the 30. Hard crunching tackle, so a return of about 8.
Varsity with a 7-yard return.
As Barisi feeling that a little bit as he comes up.
Sure, it's going to be collisions.
So Farmingdale, let's see if they can move the football and move the chains as they did last drive, right? You mentioned it. They took about half the quarter before getting in the end zone, and that would be huge here as well. You take another 6-minute drive, get in the end zone again, right? That's the best way to keep those playmakers from Freeport off the field.
Sure, driving the ball would be great, but a score would be great too of any kind. I mean, just keep extending your lead again a little bit and putting the pressure on the Freeport offense to go score for score. So, a lot of cushion here for Barishi at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah, empty backfield right now for Leachy, who's dealt with a lot of number 6. There is Barisi. Tried to get the blocking. It wasn't there. So the Red Devils step up defensively. Big tackle put on, and
Tackle number 53, Roshan Cannon.
Great rally to the football by the Red Devils right there.
Yeah.
Barishi didn't get much, but that keeps the defense honest a little bit. You know, it makes them have to chase a little bit. And
you saw Buddy Krumanacher there a moment ago, too, just slapping his hands. Like, the play was designed that you have that outside block, right, for Barisi. It wasn't there, and as you mentioned, good pursuit there by the Red Devils, so it's a short gain on first down. Here is a handoff, and look at Pasilico. Shakes it, bakes it, cuts it to the outside. Sally Pasilico. What a run by Pasilico.
First down, Bears.
I'll tell you this right now, Dylan, that's Devils might have the best 1-2 combo at the running back position in Nassau County. Look at that cut. He's got toughness. He's got vision. Speed.
It was a 28-yard run.
Yeah, you're making me think a little bit. I know Plain Edge has a couple pretty good ones as well, and Joe Cassis and Shane Moja.
Bit of a coming out party for Sal. People in Farmingdale kind of know about Sal a little bit, but he did last year in the playoffs and in the end of the game against Massapequa in the regular season. But people who don't know, he's a fine football player.
And there goes Basilico. If you don't know, now you know.
First down, Baylor.
I will say, though, you got to give a lot of credit to the offensive line because he's going through some spots without getting touched too much, and that goes to the guys up front. And Trevor Gayron in the blocker. And
It's funny, Gayron did such a good job blocking, he went back looking for more. He wanted seconds.
I think his man kind of went around him a little bit and opened up the hole, made it even bigger for him a little bit. But Trevor's that can-do-everything guy. You know, he blocks, kind of can do it all, catches balls out of the backfield, an occasional runner.
And Gayron's super smart, athletic, gets the job done in the classroom as well, which on these broadcasts, right, we don't speak enough about, but super important as well. Parisi again motions out to the right. There's Basilico again, and this time taking down the fans at Farmingdale. I think they wanted a horse collar.
Or a face mask.
Or a face mask, yeah.
I don't think either of them were.
Landon Daly, number 25, with the tackle, as we've got 33 seconds and counting left in this third quarter. Does Leachy need to run another play? I believe he does, and he'll go back. He's got Basilico with him. Gayron to the left. Basilico now motions out to the right. Hand off to Gayron. Nothing doing. A host of Red Devils in on that tackle. The ball squirts loose for a moment. That marks the end of the third quarter. Anthony Velasquez with the tackle for Freeport. 12 minutes left to go in this one. It is Farmingdale looking to remain undefeated. They lead 33-22. You're watching this Nassau Conference 1 showdown presented by Orland & Cohn on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports. High school football fans, Varsity Media is bringing exciting, exclusive content to you for the 2022 season. Introducing the Varsity Media Pass, available on iOS and Android. Accessible all season long, the Varsity Media Pass features game highlights, weekly podcasts,
A clash of styles, out into talking. We love those differing styles, right?
top 10 plays of the week, player interviews, and so much more. Head to varsitymediapass.com to download the app and start enjoying content only Varsity Media can bring.
We welcome you back to Don Snyder Stadium. Dylan Butler, Mike Hungerford, our entire crew here at Varsity Media. Excited to bring you this one. This Nassau Conference 1 battle of traditional juggernauts, as it's the Dalers and Red Devils meeting once again. Yet another game between Buddy Krummenacher and Ross Sellen. Something that both coaches referenced before the game, how much mutual respect they have, how much they kind of root for each other, except on this game day, of course. Leachy rolls to his right, looks for options, flings it towards the end zone. Touchdown, Dalers! C.J. Mangio.
Anthony Leachy with the throw.
Good job by Leachy once again being efficient, right? On the sprint out, He's got tremendous guys chasing him.
With the touchdown.
It's a guy in his face. T.J. Gordon takes a pretty big hit and delivers.
That's almost one of those as a receiver that you hate, right? Because you are all alone, like you're backpedaling into the end zone. If you're CJ, you've got to make that catch. You're not going to look good if you don't. But a big touchdown reception there by CJ Mangio. His future collegiately is at that face-off X. But getting it done here on the gridiron. Point after attempt. High snap, Varsity. Looks like this is a fake, and that is a completed 2-point conversion.
Couldn't see right there who that was. I'll tell you where he's coming off. Looks like it might have been Scardina.
Varsity with the throw.
Yeah, Varsity with the throw, and I think it did go to 15 in green.
Carmine Scardina with the catch.
That's what the PA is announcing. So 41-22, the Dalers extend their lead here in the opening moments of the fourth quarter. You're watching this Nassau Conference 1 Showdown presented by Orland and Cohn on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
One more time.
Come on, one more.
One more. Righty stance.
2, 1. One more, man.
Oh, man. All right, little bro.
Want more?
We welcome you back to Farmingdale. It's the Dalers with a 41-22 lead after that Mangio touchdown reception and the 2-point conversion that followed.
Freeport's not. They're not going to go away though. They're down by 3 scores, but they can make plays fast, and T.J. Gordon's going to be all part of that.
They do actually kick it to Jean Lubin at the 25-yard line. Runs far side. Oh, you could see how dangerous he is, right? Because once he got past that first level of blockers, was trying to go for more, taken down. So it'll be Freeport's ball at the 40. Mike Hungerford, let's revisit some of our keys to this game, kind of see where these teams are at. Freeport getting yards at first down. I think they've done that, right, a little bit.
They've done a good job of throwing some short passes. Not much running it on first down, but understanding that the Farmingdale line of scrimmage, going to win the line of scrimmage, little short passes.
They've certainly not done 2 and 3 there, as Farmingdale's had some big plays. They got off. Farmingdale did get off to a good start. Be ready for Freeport's desperation. I think the Dalers have been. No big plays from the QB and wide receiver. I think that's hard to limit, right? Because they're so good. Be efficient offense, absolutely. Circle that, check that, put a highlighter on that as well. Big key for the Dalers in this one.
Sure, I don't think they had a lot of first downs in the first half. They had a whole bunch of points, but now they seem to have balanced it out by driving the ball a little bit in this half.
Gordon, quick out as he finds Jean Lubin.
David Collins with the tackle.
So, there it is. That's the play we're talking about, Dylan, right? First down, rather than trying to run the ball, they go and maybe not get any or lose with the Farmingdale winning the line of scrimmage. They throw it and get just about 4 right there, So that's like an extended run is all it really is, that short pass.
And timeout by the officials. And I think our referee, Bob Miller, is not a big fan of the band right now. I think he's looking to quiet them down here. I like the band. I don't know.
I guess you don't get I guess they're playing while the Freeport guys are trying to call their play or whatever. I guess you're not supposed to do that in high school football.
Let's give us a chance to again thank the fine folks at the Yes Network app. We are excited to be teaming with the Yes Network app to bring high school football games to more fans. Broadcast now simulcast on the Yes Network app. Davenport to the outside, a first down run inside Farmingdale territory.
Sweep read again, Dylan. Good job by Gordon right there, giving the ball that time rather than pulling it. He's able to get the edge.
Giovanni Gully with the tackle.
Coming down with the receiver there to crack on the linebacker, trying to get flow to the ball. A good blocking scheme by Freeport.
Gordon will go long over the top, and that was nearly intercepted. The intended target was Jean Lubin, but there were more green jerseys than white downfield. And in fact, Jean Lubin, I think, did a great job kind of eliminating one of the defensive backs from potentially getting a big interception.
Yeah, it's pretty close to almost be like an offensive pass interference type of thing, but a great play, just running through it and not knocking up the defender off the ball. Could have been a pick.
Gordon high, trying to get it to Jean Lubin.
Incomplete pass.
Great job by the Farmingdale guys. The ball is high, but just playing, considering maybe it's a lateral, right? Maybe it's not going backwards or something, they can go pick it up.
Such a beautiful night weather-wise. Great crowd on hand as well here in Farmingdale. Friday night in Farmingdale, one of the better atmospheres you'll get on Long Island. Here's the handoff to Davenport. Cuts inside. And it looks like a flag was thrown.
I think he might have a hold. But I like the blocking scheme by Freeport, bringing the inside receiver down and trying to steal that inside linebacker on flow. And they did a pretty good job of it.
Yep, it will be that hold you just mentioned as our veteran referee, Bob Miller, makes the holding indication. Here's a question for you, Mike Hungerford. I'm watching a mascot here on the sideline. Why is it a lion?
Okay. Wow. That man's missed a lot, but Dylan will go through it again. Dalers
Yes.
are, as you can see, the hole there. Looks like there. Dalers are people from Farmingdale, right?
Correct.
Farmingdale Dalers.
I'm with you so
So
far.
now the lion is sort of, many years ago at one point, they were actually called the Farmingdale Lions for a brief period of time. And the lion has become sort of was the mascot and sort of remained that way. And we just have a lion. Got to have something, I guess, right?
I mean, I guess if you just had someone from Farmingdale, that wouldn't really, you just dressing some guy, right, or a girl walking down the sideline doesn't really speak mascot, right? Does
Well,
it?
you can't. Yep, you can't. What costume do they wear?
Right,
What do they
right.
have? Listen, we have. I think at Farmingdale there's great colors. Kelly green is great. Is a great version of green, but the mascot thing is a little tough. It can be a little tough sometimes. But I'll tell you what, we always get a great student here at Farmingdale to be the mascot. It's pretty cool to be the lion. A lot of school spirit, and Freeport's got the Red Devils. That's pretty cool, right? A Red Devil. That's very cool. Very, very cool.
So they will not go for it here on fourth down. Gordon instead will punt it away. It'll try to tilt the field. Good field position as
They bleed that thing right out down to the 5-yard line.
they really did. It's like that was
Quarterback punting the ball. It's always dangerous to run around with it, but they punted it there. So the Farmingdale got to stop. The holding penalty was a significant part of the killing the drive a little bit, but they got to stop what they needed. And 9:15 left, up by 19 points by my math, right, Dylan? I think it's 19 is the number. So, 3 scores, starting very deep in their own territory.
I'll say this, my last thought here on the Lion, right, where I think if you're a Farmingdale student, right, and you get the opportunity to be the Lion, when it gets to like late October into early November, that's a nice suit to be wearing. It's going to get pretty cold.
I think you're happy
on that
being the
sideline.
Lion outside, but you're not so happy necessarily being the Lion the first game of the year, maybe some of the basketball games.
Yeah,
A little tough being the Lion.
correct. All right, so long field here for the Dalers. Rush goes to the outside. And it was Pasilico with the carry.
Kind of ran into that bunch formation right there, trying to get it, trying to get good numbers and good blocking. Freeport guys did a good job of getting off the blocks and making the tackle on Pasilico.
I think the depth of Farmingdale is what I have been most impressed with tonight, because you tell me that a Ramos and a Meta aren't in there. Those are guys who impact the game on both sides. And now they're able to just kind of hang out and have a leisurely conversation back at their own 40 with their team up 41-22.
Sure, that Farmville scored 41 points, and they maybe not be done yet, and they
inside handoff.
They've scored 41 points, and two are arguably their very best players. Two, I think a lot of coaches would agree, are all-county, easily all-county, if not all-level players. Ramos played a little bit in the beginning, was very impactful in the beginning of the game, offensively and defensively. Then got injured, and Meta sitting out tonight. So, pretty impressive 41 points without those guys.
Yeah, and admittedly, I was really looking forward to seeing Dylan Meta play on offense. I saw him obviously last year at St. Anthony's playing on the defensive side, and that defensive secondary for the Friars was a starter there for Joe Minucci's team, playing really well on both sides, but I'm out tonight. And again, I think if this was a playoff game, if it was a super important game, I think he's in probably. Another run to about the 10.
Barisi on the carry.
It was Barisi on the carry.
Yeah, they've played Farmer. They'll come back to. They run early in the game, but it was well defended there by Freeport. And it looks like we'll be in a punting situation, and Freeport got the stop they needed.
They did. And John Lubin right now, the deep man, and when I say deep, he's actually at about the 30-yard line. Could be a timeout. This gives us a chance, Mike, to detail our upcoming games here on the Varsity Media Sports Network, as well as the Yes app. The backyard brawl that is Bethpage and Plain Edge. These are guys, some of them are in the same zip code with Plain Edge and Bethpage. It is personal when these two teams play. Expect a physical brand of football tomorrow, and North Massapequa will be on the air for that one at 2 o'clock. And then a battle of undefeated teams to close out our weekend. Holy Trinity Kellenberg. There is all sorts of social media chatter about this one. That should be a lot of fun as well. Sunday at 1 from Mitchell Athletic Complex. We head out back to Cy Donnelly Field for the Friars off their big win over Iona Prep, taking on Fordham Prep, East Rockaway, Cold Spring Harbor, and Nassau 4. Then we close out next weekend with Zavarian and St. Francis Prep, also from Mitchell Athletic Complex. So this Dalers punt will be from a couple yards into the end zone. Snap has to be perfect. And it is not. And it will be another safety. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't it the same exact situation we had a week ago in that Northport Linden game? That's where the safety came from, wasn't it?
Correct.
A high snap out of the back of the
yep.
end zone.
It was, yep. Ball snapped over the head. And
I don't expect Joe Giannotti to come up with this, even though he is the great Nassau County historian. But when have we seen two safeties in the same game, right? Both for Freeport.
Not very often, I mean, the only way to look at it, Dylan, is you just traded 2 points and you get to kick the ball from a better position and move the ball back a little bit on Freeport a little bit. So, it's a couple ways to look at it, right? And then Freeport's getting the ball, which they were getting it anyway. I don't know if they'll be getting it in better field position or worse or similar, but they'll have 6:51 to go, and they'll be down now by, 6, 11, 17 points. So it's really, 3 scores either way still, So
back to that game tomorrow, Plain Edge and Bethpage, and Plain Edge has certainly had the better of that rivalry of late, winning the last 6 meetings. But before that, it was 4 straight from Bethpage. So We expect a lot of running, a lot of physicality. The war on the line of scrimmage is important. And Rob Shaver says it. Listen, if you've not experienced the Plain Edge Bethpage game, he says probably right up there with Farmingdale Massapequa as maybe the best rivalries, certainly in Nassau County, if not on Long Island as a whole.
Sure, definitely. The two schools very close together, just about as close as Farmingdale Massapequa when they play in a few weeks, and definitely hard hitting. And then Plain Edge guys have something pretty special going on right now there, and I know the Bethpage guys would like to kind of get in the middle of that, right?
Yeah, they've won 16 consecutive games. They went 12-0 last year, won the Long Island Championship, the second in Plain Edge's history. Although it's funny, again, when in the preparation leading up, when I spoke with Shaver about that, I said, is that talked about at all? The number, he said, listen, kids today, they have no idea about any of that stuff. The parents probably do. They talk about it, but the kids sometimes don't even know who they're playing next week. So I can guarantee you, though, they know who they're playing this week because it's special when Bethpage and Plain Edge meet.
And I think this week both coaches, Coach Sellen and Coach Krumenacker, made sure they knew who they were playing against in this game tonight. And
100%.
The Freeport game. And, it's been back and forth. Farmingdale had the better of it for a lot of the game, but the Freeport guys are not going away.
They never do. First down run. Davenport. It's locked up. Looked like that was Gayron in on the tackle. And when we spoke with Russ Sellen and Buddy Krumenacker leading into this game, Russ said about meeting Buddy, he said, listen, we have a good relationship. We always have. He said between the two of us, there's well over 500 wins. He says, you don't normally see a matchup like that of guys with that many wins, right, on both sidelines. He said, I always enjoy playing against Buddy. In the Farmingdale Freeport games, there's never a problem with behavior. It's always played hard. It's always just two teams going at it with two programs who have a great deal of respect for each other. Here is Gordon calling his own number, pushing forward. And then when we spoke with Buddy about the matchup as well, he had very similar words to say about Russ Sellen and his team and his program as well, where he said, listen, we're good friends. There's no macho football nonsense, as Buddy referred it to. He said the teams just play and one team wins. He said the result will never affect our relationship. If we've lost the playoffs, I root for Freeport, and he thinks the same is true of Russ Sellen when Freeport's eliminated in the postseason. Here's Gordon, goes over the middle to Jean Lubin. It's complete, and inside the 10-yard line goes Jean Lubin.
Lubin playing in the slot there, got the post, got open to the inside of the field, kind of hard to give it, can't really give it up to him, got to take the inside away if you can, gets the post open, spins Collins around a little bit, and is able to, get that post completed, and Burgess makes a touchdown-saving tackle right there.
First and goal, and it will be a timeout, an official's timeout. And again, let's quiet down that. Oh, and the flag as well. Sideline warning on the band. The band is not on the field. I can verify that.
Wow. Okay. I get it, I guess.
I think they bring a good ambiance to the game. Farmingdale band.
Brings a lot of people to the game, I will tell you that. A lot of excitement, that's for sure. It's not right now, we don't need it.
First and goal.
Mr. Miller.
DJ Gordon. Who needs a band when you got a DJ? Gordon in the end zone for the touchdown.
Number 3, D'Angelo Gordon.
I think he's got overscoring for Freeport, right? Just about.
We got to go back. He had a 2-yard touchdown run, a 61-yard touchdown run, an 8-yard touchdown run, and now this, his 4th touchdown run of the game.
And they'll go for 2 here. Get it down to a 9-point game.
And they'll have to back up a few more yards. It's a false start on the offense.
Illegal procedure on Freeport.
But, Mike, you're right. Listen, when you combine the Freeport mentality, right, that Sellen has certainly drilled into his guys, and it's synonymous with his program. And then you get the athletes, and then you go for the 2 all the time. Yeah, you're in the game, right?
Absolutely, and it's a little tougher 2-point play here, but I wouldn't be surprised if try to find Ruben again.
Gordon rolls to his right, goes end zone to Drayden Gordon, and he's in. I didn't think he broke the plane, but the official on this sideline says that he did.
I'd like to see that one again. The official's right there. I'll give him credit for that, but I'd like to see that one again.
Ask and you shall receive.
Kind of roll out here. I guess he's saying he reached across the goal line with it because his body was certainly down before he got on the goal line, but there it is. Official's right there, and he gave him 2.
What was that old call? Remember NFL games? I'm going back a few years, but you make the call.
Yep.
I forgot who the sponsor was for that, but one of those you make the calls there. Regardless, the points count. They're on the board. And 5:04 left.
Might be onside kick time almost. If you kick away, onside kick, I'm not really sure. There's quite a bit of time left. If you onside kick and you give the Farmingdale guys the ball in the middle of the field, that might not be beneficial there. But yet, if you don't onside kick and the Farmingdale guys eat the clock a little bit, it could end the game. So.
Farmingdale guys looking to eat the clock like we did that Chitty's cheesesteaks at halftime.
Those were pretty good. Those were pretty good. Going to Coach Selwyn, as you see him right here, people who aren't familiar, he really brought the spread offense to Long Island.
Yeah.
He was the first team to really use it extensively and run plays out of it like you're starting to see people on TV doing in college, especially. And he made it fashionable. And after he did it, other people adopted it. And I know he's met with other coaches in terms of other conferences and people he wasn't necessarily competing against to share knowledge of the spread and foster its development on Long Island. And when they were when Freeport was at those teams in the late 90s, some of the early 2000s period, they were so hard to deal with. And out of the offense with the athletes they had and the coaching that he had, and really not only a great coach but a bit of a guru in terms of bringing a certain type of football to Long Island.
Here we go. Onside kick. Maybe 5:04 left. I will say there's a great chance if you can get it sort of past the 30 here in this near sideline, a lot of room there. They go the other way. It takes a bounce. And now it's anybody's ball, and it looks like Freeport's got it. They're certainly signaling that way. But it's the guys in stripes with the official call. Let's see. Peeling guys off the pile. DJ Gordon motioning. It'll be Freeport ball. It is not, though. Farmingdale comes away with it.
On the bottom of the pile.
Look
the
who
general,
it is.
Trevor Gayron.
I like number 8's chances in a scrum like this. You see the ball loose, and Gayron did come away with it. A huge onside kick. But going back to your point about Selin, even if you remember, too, in our conversation leading up to that Freeport-Massapequa game, Kevin Chippos cited both of these coaches, said it's still so much fun for him. I think he's in his 12th season as the head coach at Massapequa, played at Baldwin before that, but said just learning from these guys. And he said early in his coaching career, he spoke to Russ Selin just as a younger coach, and obviously they run the spread at, or a version of the spread at Massapequa, and both of these coaches role models to an extent to a Shippos. And again, you're talking about bitter rivals with Freeport, with Farmingdale and Massapequa, and in fact even Freeport and Massapequa as well. And yet those two coaches giving a Shippos some moments as a younger coach, right, to get some questions answered. It's that great fraternity that you have among coaches. First down run. Looks like that's Basilico getting out towards the 50.
Now, Freeport could get a stop here and, force a punt and, get the ball back. You never know, right? They're down 9, so we're going to need 2 scores. But Farmingdale, I think 2 first downs probably could win the game with 2 first downs or a touchdown, for sure. try to use the clock as much as possible, kind of in that 4-minute offense mode, Dylan, where you're in that your time where you're trying to work the clock down to like maybe inside of 8-7, 6-5, get the ball snapped late. There's no clock here, visible right here.
Yeah, only the official behind the play. Handoff up the middle. Big gain. It was a 2nd and 12, it looked like, and Basilico sets up a very manageable 3rd and about 2.
It's interesting here is, Dylan, when people start to sell out for the line of scrimmage, this is where you pop them sometimes, There's 9 men in the box, and he's just about got out of it.
Wow, what a push by that Farmingdale offensive line. Leachy followed his big boys, and he ended up getting a lot more than he even wanted. Look at this again by this offensive line.
Quick, huge push up front, Robinson, and full work on the left side with Cangelosi up front. The Farmingdale guys have several players who didn't play last. We've mentioned earlier, didn't play last year for a variety of reasons, and Cangelosi being one of them. You have number 15, Carmine Scardina, you have Barishi, you have Dylan Mehta came back to Farmingdale from Catholic school, and all have made a big impact on the team this year for sure.
This year, and other than Mehta, all those guys you mentioned tonight as well. Basilico's had a big night as well. And again, you're going to keep that clock going. He is taken down inside the 35-yard line.
The beauty of Basilico, I think, is he can run inside. We've seen him run outside, right? Bouncing cuts and moves and big plays. But he can get you tough inside yardage too. A physical guy, thick, strong guy for his size, and he plays much bigger than his 175-pound, body weight. And the Freeport guys right now, it's kind of slipping away from him here a little bit.
Yeah, Basilico came into this game as that number 2 option, right? Ramos, the likely Thorpe Award candidate with 39 carries for 387 and 9 touchdowns coming in. Basilico with 19 carries for 160 and 2. But with Ramos a little bit dinged up, it's been Basilico who's literally carried the load. And he again gets another first down as the clock continues to churn under 2 minutes. And if you're the Dealers, you got to be feeling pretty good about your chances now with the ball at the Freeport 25 and the clock continuing to run.
Yeah, great push up front. Just the interior line, just getting a good push and getting under the Freeport blocker, defensive lineman, and blocking him up, and Basilico doing the rest. Got to work that clock right now. Probably going to get a dose of Basilico again.
Why not? Here he comes again. Just bounces off the first. Basilico. And he's finally pulled down inside the 15. It was the physicality, Mike, off that first attempted tackle this late in the game that impresses me. Watch it again here by Basilico.
Yep.
Right
cut,
there.
Right there. Little jump cut, and then finishes it off.
Yeah, I thought Gordon got him or got a piece of him, but I just mentioned it was that crisp jump cut.
Probably have to run one more play if you're Farmingdale here. They should probably do it.
Likely the final play of this one. It's Basilico. Cuts inside, and a flag was thrown. Bob Miller got quite. His arm is strong. He threw that flag, I think, about 20 yards. Hold on the offense.
Holding on Farmingdale.
So again, we go from Farmingdale. A short trip to North Massapequa tomorrow. I'll be joined on the call by Tom Rooney for the Bethpage Plain Edge renewal of their rivalry. And then John Perez has you on Sunday. He'll also be on sidelines for Plain Edge Bethpage, but he's got you on Sunday as we'll go to victory formation here as Kellenberg and Holy Trinity meet in a battle of two 5-0 teams in the Catholic High School Football League.
It looks like that they're doing the Farmingdale in victory formation, and once again, the Farmingdale Freeport game did not disappoint though. Plenty of playmakers. If you liked offense, good place to be. And saw a lot of great plays by D'Angelo Gordon. We saw a little bit of Tommaso Ramos, a little bit of quarterback play from, you mentioned Gordon, but also from, Weechie, and the whole dose of Sal Basilico.
A lot of Basilico here tonight to lead the Dalers as they remain undefeated. Farmingdale 5-0 on the season. And you see the head coaches there at the top of your screen. Buddy Krummenacher, Ross Sellen. That's not one of those, Eric Mangini and Bill Belichick handshakes.
Absolutely not, and never will be.
Yes, correct. You see they're still talking there.
Those are two men that understand a lot about athletics.
100%.
People enter for broadcast. People tend to turn games off and broadcasts off, but if you're watching right now, those are two men that know a lot about high school athletics and know a lot about how to teach children the right way to be grown men. And there's hundreds of men that played for them today. I don't know if they watch the broadcast or not. They learned an awful lot from those two guys, and then they'd be the first to tell you if you gave them the chance.
You can see too, just buddies to our back, but you can see Ross Sellen, smile on his face, and it's they both still love these meetings. We hope there's many, many more of Sellen, Krummenacher, Freeport, Farmingdales. We don't know how many more there will be. You cherish every one of these, though, this late in their coaching careers.
Absolutely, every player on both teams gets to play for them. You see right there, you see little Jimmy Jones with Coach Krummenacher and Coach Cesario right there. But anytime guys get to play for one of these two guys and be coached by them, it's a hopefully, I believe, a life-changing experience, and to have said you played for Freeport High School or Farmingdale High School is a special thing. It has been for a long time, and I guarantee it will be for quite a while longer.
Getting a chance to call a game with you is also a life-changing experience. Final score here from Don Snyder Stadium. It is Farmingdale 41, Freeport 32. The Dalers improved to 5-0 on the season. The Red Devils fall to 1-4. I want to thank our entire Varsity Media crew, executive producer Ben Turchin, our technical director Chris Sweeney, Angelo Caezo, and James Suckle as well on the cameras. My broadcast partner Mike Hungerford, Dylan Butler, thanking you for joining us here from Farmingdale. We look forward to seeing you next time right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.